The internet has given us some truly bizarre people over the years. We've seen fake gurus, professional scammers, live stream meltdowns, and influencers willing to do just about anything for 5 minutes of attention. But every once in a while, someone comes along who somehow manages to combine all of those things into one person. Meet Elphaba Orion Doherty.
Elphaba is a name on TikTok you've likely heard before. The 19-year-old British trans woman had amassed over 500,000 followers on TikTok before being banned, and they're known for a variety of controversies that they've been involved in over the last couple of years.
What is the one thing that you regret saying the most online?
The one thing I regret the most is, I think I regret about the direct. Nostril. I will have all the men. Boyaka and the bed sheets.
Now, if you've somehow avoided this corner of TikTok, first of all, congratulations. Your algorithm clearly cares about your mental health, but unfortunately for the rest of us, Elphaba has spent the last few years turning the internet into her own personal reality show, except nobody agreed to be part of the cast.
If you were to walk down the street, you wouldn't be recognised. If I was to walk down the street with you, I'd get fucking people coming at me. You can't get off my live stream, you're stuck. Am I wrong?
This is someone who's been caught faking autism and Tourette's, blamed other people after getting exposed, scammed fans, managed to start drama with practically every friend she's ever had, and somehow turned public meltdowns into a full-time content strategy. And that's somehow not even the weird part, because just when you think she's finally hit rock bottom, she grabs a shovel, starts digging, and somehow discovers an entirely new level of internet insanity.
And spoke to me. I'm going to try and find the footage.
I don't understand why, I just don't. Why am I doing this? I love you, you're nice. You're actually really nice to me, thank you. That was really nice to me.
And trust us when we say this isn't even the most disturbing part of Elphaba's story. Over the years, she's been accused of lying about countless things, including a GoFundMe she claimed was to help fund her transition. According to people online, she convinced supporters to donate hundreds of dollars, only for the money to allegedly end up funding luxury shopping sprees instead.
What's the bag? I lost the bag. Where's the bag? Hello, darling. Where's the bag? I need my bag. Hello, darling. I lost my bag. Where's my Louis Vuitton bag? Where's my bag?
We mean, is this the same person who cries about being broke, begs for money, and claims that she has a debt?
Spending a lot of money that I wasn't used to, and I didn't know what to do with it, and I just kind of fucking went for it, and I was stupid about it, and I didn't even know that you had to pay tax on that, to be honest.
And if that wasn't enough, she also has a long history of harming herself on live streams. There have been multiple instances where she's repeatedly hit herself in the head while live. In one particularly disturbing incident, she held a knife to her own throat during a live stream and invited people to join a live where she would be unaliving herself. Yes, you heard that right.
Nobody deserves to join for that, do they?
Okay.
From bizarre live streams and hygiene controversies to allegations involving minors, endless feuds, and enough online drama to keep half of TikTok employed as reaction channels, Elphaba's career is less of a success story and more of a masterclass in what not to do on social media. So how did someone who originally became known for dressing up as a character from Wicked end up becoming one of TikTok's most infamous personalities? Well, buckle up, because this story only gets weirder from here. This is the complete downfall of Elphaba Orion Doherty, and trust us when we say there is so much to cover when it comes to Elphaba. Over the years, she's been banned from TikTok multiple times, yet somehow she always manages to come back like a plague. And even after all this time, she's still going. There are so many change.org petitions to remove her from TikTok that it's honestly hard to keep count. However, for almost 6 years now, she's been live streaming, creating controversy and leaving chaos in her wake. We'll do our best to cover her antics as thoroughly as possible, but fair warning, there is simply so much brain rot one person can consume before they start questioning their own sanity. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? So who exactly is Elphaba? Well, if you ask her, she's a singer, performer, influencer, live streamer, entrepreneur, and probably the second coming of the Wicked Witch herself. If you ask literally everyone else, you'll get a very different answer. Over the past few years, Elphaba Orion Doherty has built a reputation as one of TikTok's most infamous personalities, not because she's exceptionally talented, but because she somehow manages to stumble into controversy with almost supernatural consistency. It's honestly impressive. Some creators spend years carefully planning content calendars and brand deals. Elphaba, meanwhile, seems to wake up every morning and ask herself, what's the worst possible decision I could make today? And somehow she usually finds an answer.
And no, I cannot control my anger, so don't tell me to try and control my anger, because that makes it worse. Stay away from me. I can't.
But believe it or not, things weren't always like this. Long before the live stream screaming matches, the fake disorder allegations, and the endless internet feuds, Elphaba was just another teenager trying to build an audience online. She was born in February 2004 in Barnstable, England, and originally went by the name Orion. People who have been following her online might know that one of the biggest turning points in her life came after watching the musical Wicked when she was a kid. She became completely fascinated with the character of Elphaba, the misunderstood Wicked Witch of the West. Now, to be fair, having a favourite fictional character isn't exactly unusual. Everyone has that one movie, TV show, or game they become obsessed with for a while. Most people eventually move on. Elphaba didn't. Instead, that fascination slowly became her entire online identity.
Elphaba.
Gravity, I'm flying on fire.
She began posting videos singing Defying Gravity, dressing like the character, wearing the iconic black witch hat, and eventually adopted the name Elphaba Orion Doherty after coming out as a trans woman at the age of 17. We mean she has been quite literally obsessed with the song Defying Gravity. There are at least 400 videos of her at various ages covering the song.
These are the chance to fly, and if I'm flying so low, at least, and if I'm flying so low, at least I'm flying free.
She sang it so much that she even considered contacting Guinness World Records to see if she could set a record for it.
I have the record for the most Defying Gravity song in the world. I actually think if I spoke to Guinness World Records, I actually think I would have the world record. I think I've sang it over 100,000 times on TikTok Live. And I think I've actually sang, I've got 40,000 Defying Gravity.
However, the most ironic part is that despite constantly dressing up as Elphaba and repeatedly claiming to be obsessed with Wicked, she doesn't seem to know much about the musical itself. As you can see in this clip, fans decided to quiz her on Wicked trivia, and she struggled to answer even some of the most basic questions.
1,400 eyes looking at me. Do you not understand how overwhelming that is? You're doing well, Elfie, thank you. What's Cynthia's second name? Erivo. But she has a huge name which I cannot pronounce. Yeah, but I can't pronounce her name and it'd be a bit, and I don't want to do that. Like, ask me questions about Defying Gravity or something, or, you know, the alphabets, that's where I'm very strong in. You can literally play me Defying Gravity and I can tell you the exact alphabet that sings. What key is Defying Gravity sung in? I don't know, I'm gonna be for real, because I don't study music that way, I only sing. I know, alphabets in the show, and no, I don't know the key, I'm not normal. Why is the alphabet green? Well, I can easily tell you that. So basically, I'm overwhelmed right now. I know exactly, but there's a lot of people in the comments just too much. So I'm going to turn it off and I'll tell you.
We mean, she doesn't even know why Elphaba is green. Regardless, for Elphaba Orion, what started as admiration gradually evolved into an internet persona that would define almost everything she posted online. At first glance, none of this was particularly controversial. Sure, the singing wasn't exactly Broadway quality. Let's just say Simon Cowell probably wasn't losing sleep over missing this audition. But TikTok has never exactly been known for its flawless vocals. People dress up as fictional characters all the time, and thousands of creators build audiences around niche interests. If anything, Elphaba just came across as another eccentric TikToker trying to find her place on the platform. However, unfortunately, normal didn't last very long. Now, before we go any further into the story, we should mention that Elphaba has actually been on the internet for quite some time. She first started making videos back in 2019 on another platform called Likey. Her time on that app has quite a bit of lore surrounding it, but we'll come back to that later. It wasn't until 2020 that she joined TikTok. In the beginning, her content mostly consisted of singing covers and videos centered around Elphaba from Wicked. She also spoke openly about her personal life. In one Instagram post, she talked about how growing up and coming out as trans had been extremely difficult. She has also talked about her childhood and being bullied during her TikTok lives.
I was bullied so much, and I was so bullied, so it's not fun, right? And it actually sucked so much. But you know what? I came out the other end, and I was like, yeah.
Now, we're not here to invalidate her experiences. Regardless of everything that's happened since, it's entirely possible that she had a very difficult upbringing. Her mother, Maria, has also become a topic of discussion online because of videos and allegations surrounding her behaviour and apparent substance abuse.
Yes, we love an Inspector Gadget coat. Got all the tools. Piss off. Oopsie, who are you? I'm just me. I'm scared. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Oh, Christina, thanks, babe. Yes, it's the mum. What? What now?
I do love this coat.
I love it. They're all jelly. I love it. They hate that you got it first. Chicken. Hey,
Mum,
to Texas.
Mum, ignore them, please.
No, I'm being lovely. There's Chris.
Okay.
Is he your friend? Maybe spoke about him once. Hello.
Right, there we go.
Room tour. There you are, it's room tour.
Right, Mum, come
my
on.
CDs.
Right, you're not having it anymore.
Don't be rude.
What? Can you ring
I will.
Yeah, she is a character, and this has led some people online to speculate about whether Elphaba could have fetal alcohol syndrome, but there is no confirmed evidence to support those claims, except that she behaves like this. All of this being said, like many internet personalities, Elphaba didn't become famous overnight. One livestream changed everything. While streaming in public, Elphaba was bullied by a group of kids who snatched her wig straight off her head before running away laughing. The entire thing happened live, leaving thousands of viewers watching in real time as Elphaba was humiliated in public.
Why do you find it funny to hurt someone like that?
Can I wear it?
Can we move? Can we go, please? Call the police, please. Call the police. Can you call the police, please?
I am.
Now, regardless of what you think about Elphaba today, this was genuinely awful. Nobody deserves to be harassed in public simply for existing, and at the time, that's exactly how people saw it. To most viewers, this wasn't the controversial TikToker. This was simply a transgender creator being bullied on the street by a bunch of kids looking for a cheap laugh. Almost overnight, people rallied behind her. You can see that even people on the street were consoling her.
They're sheep. They can't do it on their own, so don't worry about it. They're going to grow up, they're going to work in factories, they're going to be plumbers, they're going to be fit. Just carry on doing what you're doing, because it doesn't matter.
Looking back now, it's strange to think that this was probably the closest the internet ever came to universally being on her side. Unfortunately, that goodwill didn't last very long, because not long after receiving all of this sympathy, Elphaba started going live almost every day with a new problem. She told viewers she couldn't afford her rent. She claimed she needed help financially. She encouraged people to send gifts and donate money during live streams, and before long, asking viewers for money became less of an emergency and more of a routine.
Send me money. Thank you for the rose. Anyway, So if you want to like send me like a hand heart, you know what I mean? If you love me, can you send me some money please, like gifts? I love you.
Now, asking for financial help isn't automatically a bad thing. Plenty of people fall on hard times. The issue was what happened next. In the very same live streams where she was asking people for donations, Elphaba would often argue with commenters, claiming they were simply jealous because she supposedly earned more money than they did, which is certainly an interesting strategy.
Don't worry, I understand. I feel sorry. No way. Stay jealous that I'm getting more money than your weekly wages, darling. But I also see a lot of people getting quite angry when I get gifts, and I do say that can be a bit of jealous, envy sometimes. Fair enough. I want you to get gifts, but being envious of someone isn't a nice trait to have as a person, and that is how it is. I don't think I deserve gifts. I think people are so kind enough to do that, but what do you mean? Like, do you think you deserve gifts? Well, with that attitude, you don't. You're being envious of someone getting money, and you're going to live in that mindset forever, and you're actually not going to make anything of yourself, ever.
Imagine walking into a restaurant, asking the people at the next table to pay for your dinner, and then telling them they're broke if they say no. It's not exactly the best way to keep supporters on your side, but that wasn't the only thing beginning to frustrate people. We mean she would constantly argue with the chat.
So I am going to warm up with Defying Gravity with my chest voice. So I'm going to give it a shot. Here we go. Wait, hold on. You want a singer though? Kelly, everyone can sing. And babe, you look so bored in your profile pic. Go do something with your life, babe. Because you look sad as fuck. Okay. Who's next? Mary, you can't, says. Come up and sing for me then. Why don't you sing for 300 people? What do you know about singing? Tell me. Sing your heart out. Exactly, Natalie. Oh, May says, sis, let's look at you, babe. Right, Maisie looking at my looks. Babe, you're 20 years old, same age as me. And you're giving playground behaviour and pick-me girl vibes. NPC. You seem quite... This is kind of giving... I'm crying for attention. I want your attention off that. Babe, you're no one. Relax.
Around this time, Elphaba became infamous for repeatedly singing Defying Gravity during live streams, usually at full volume and usually without much consideration for anyone around her. Neighbours reportedly complained about the constant noise, but according to Elphaba, she had every right to sing in her own home whenever she wanted.
The council saying that, well, Elphaba's live streaming. Well, yeah, I'm allowed to in my own home. Thank you very much. I'm allowed to sing in my own home. As are you. Anyone else is allowed to sing. If she wants to sing, she can sing. I'm not going to complain about it. Do you know what I mean? Music, I don't care. Put as loud as you want on. I don't care. I keep myself to myself with neighbours. I don't complain. I'm not a Karen. Do you know what I mean? How many of you are like that, guys? How many of you keep yourself?
Technically, she's not wrong. People are allowed to sing in their own homes. The problem was that her voice was disturbing other people, and this quickly became part of a much larger pattern. We mean, she's been using microphones and screeching at the top of her lungs inside a tiny apartment. How could her neighbours not be disturbed? And like we said, this is part of a much bigger pattern. From the very beginning, Elphaba seemed to realise that her singing, her public outbursts and portraying herself as the victim attracted attention online. She appeared to recognise early on that this kind of content generated engagement, something that became apparent when she broke down crying on livestream after the wig-snatching incident. Overall, whenever someone criticised her behaviour, whether it was the loud singing, the livestream begging or anything else, Elphaba rarely accepted criticism. Instead, she would immediately portray herself as the victim, insisting people were bullying her, attacking her, or simply jealous of her success.
Be real. Don't make me out to be a monster that I'm not. I'm not. It's disgusting. You can't do that. And you're like, oh, no. No, I'm not gonna have that. I'm not gonna have that. Don't you dare call me something like that. I'm nowhere near that. How dare you say that about me? I would be reporting all of you to the police at this point for defamation of character. How would you like if I called you that? Do you know what I mean? It's not okay. You say you seek out...
And if you've watched enough of Elphaba's content, you'll notice this pattern over and over again. Whenever something goes wrong, it's almost never Elphaba's fault. It's her viewers, her friends, the internet, or literally anyone else she can point a finger at. Now, up until this point, most of Elphaba's controversies had been fairly manageable. Sure, people found her annoying. Some thought she was manipulative. Others couldn't stand the constant live stream begging. But being obnoxious on TikTok isn't exactly a unique achievement. If that were enough to get someone cancelled, we'd probably have to shut the entire app down. No, it actually went much worse than that. The trail of lies and controversies is so extensive that it's honestly hard to keep up with. For example, in 2022, Elphaba claimed to have autism, something she called suspected autism.
I am suspected autistic. Suspected. I think I have it. Self-diagnosis is a valid thing in the UK due to the whole waiting list.
And her reason for why she thinks she has autism? Well, because she is obsessed with Wicked.
Well, I was told that I have a special interest in Wicked and Pokemon cards and things like that. I struggle to communicate with people. That's what Cam's picked up on as well, the stimming. Autism. Can't even spell that right. Anxiety, obviously. And depression. PTSD.
We mean, you guys can probably see where this is going, right? Now, before we go any further, it's important to make one thing clear. Autism isn't something that should ever be treated as a personality trait or an aesthetic. It's a real neurodevelopmental condition that affects millions of people, many of whom spend years trying to receive a proper diagnosis and access the support they need, which is exactly why what happened next caused such a massive backlash. In 2022, Elphaba appeared on a competition called Autism's Got Talent, performing alongside her friend Jack. And she didn't only participate, she won the competition. Now, as the name of the show suggests, the show exists to highlight and celebrate talented, autistic individuals, giving them a platform to showcase their abilities. For many participants, it was a genuinely meaningful opportunity. There's just one problem. Unlike many of the other contestants, Elphaba had never actually been diagnosed with autism. According to what would later come out, she had essentially self-diagnosed before appearing on a show specifically intended for autistic people. Naturally, people weren't exactly thrilled by this revelation. Many felt she had taken a place that could have gone to someone who genuinely met the criteria for the show. And honestly, you can understand why so many people were upset. But somehow this wasn't even the worst part, because once people began questioning whether she actually had autism, Elphaba didn't respond by providing evidence. She dodged the question for a very long time and eventually admitted that she lied about it.
It's been diagnosed, etc., and like Autism's Got Talent and everything kind of threw a lot of people off.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
The one thing that you regret saying the most online?
The one thing I regret the most is, I think I regret about the Tourette's thing. So I said I had Tourette's uneducatedly, so I remember saying I had Tourette's.
And she blamed Jack. Yes.
Like, I was under a lot of pressure by a lot of people telling me, are you diagnosed? We're talking 17 years old, growing up, and I didn't know what to say. I wasn't really used to a platform. I still had a platform there, but it was so new to me, so I just said a bunch of shit. It wasn't malicious, I hope you know that. It wasn't malicious in any sort of way, I really hope you know that. Me going on a talent show, no, I can get why people are angry with that, because that show wasn't for me. It was basically for my friend who isn't my friend anymore. I'm not going to mention him. We're going to call him, no, but we're not going to mention him, but you know who it is. He knew I wasn't diagnosed with autism, so there's a 50-50 blame, in my opinion, because, you know, he knew I wasn't diagnosed. He told me to audition anyway. He said,
I want this big break. He wanted this break for himself because he's never performed in any big stages before. Neither have I, so I took the opportunity as well, which I shouldn't have. He wrote my biography for the show. He wrote everything. He knew I wasn't diagnosed. He said, don't worry, they won't know. But the reason how people found out I wasn't diagnosed with autism was through him. So he told everyone as soon as I cut him off as a friend. So that's what happened. That's, you know, and that's not a true friend, you know, that's not a genuine person, so. Oh, they call me a liar now. All right, I'll stop, sorry. I'll stop. I don't want any.
The same Jack who had performed alongside her on the show, unlike Elphaba, actually was on the spectrum. Now, one thing we should probably mention here is that Jack wasn't just some random guy Elphaba happened to meet a few weeks earlier. The two had actually been close friends for quite a long time. They regularly streamed together, filmed content as a duo, and for a while, Jack became one of the few people viewers genuinely enjoyed seeing alongside Elphaba. Their chemistry made for some of her most well-received content, and many fans believed Jack brought out the best in her. Here are some of the old clips we found of them together.
Oh, oops. Without a friend, without a face to say hello to. And now the night is near. Now I can make believe he's here.
At one point, Elphaba even moved into Jack's house so the two of them could continue making content together. However, people also began noticing a recurring pattern in the way Elphaba treated Jack. According to many viewers, she frequently bullied him, constantly tried to keep the spotlight on herself, and often got into arguments with him.
That's not it,
That's not exactly a duet.
Oh, the way it is.
It's not. I get one, like 2, maybe 3 lines if I'm lucky.
You can be the guards and you can be...
Then it's not the shortened version.
No, it is.
It's not. It's not.
Oh, wait, it's I'm not doing this on your mind. I'm feeling Define Gravity right now because I'm literally dressed ready for it.
I know, but I don't want to do that one. You've done it 3 times.
She was eventually kicked out of Jack's house for being a menace and not doing the chores.
I want to do Define Gravity.
You've done it 3 times.
I know.
And I really don't want that right now.
Okay.
I've just heard about the sock.
No, yeah, that was nothing. I didn't generally...
It was solid.
Look. I'm not like that.
What, you
I'm not like that.
You do the room. It's not about
So Jack's mum's now kicked me out. Because on my birthday.
When it was just me and Alfie, who did most of the chores?
You did, because you got a book.
Who looked after who more?
I mean,
He did look after me. She helped me when I was in hospital. I'm not lying. Actually, absolutely did.
yeah. I mean, you know, I would say that for the first few months I was there with you, and I would say that I probably did more chores and more looking after than anyone else. But when you two were alone and we gave you that book to write down who did what, yeah, it was very, very clear that you were doing the chores and the other one, Elfie, wasn't doing so many.
She wasn't doing it, Mum.
She did do some. She did do the dishwasher.
But according to Elphaba, the whole autism claim was somehow his fault. Rather than taking responsibility for presenting herself as autistic, she shifted the blame onto the one person who had been publicly supporting her throughout this entire period. And if you're thinking, that's a pretty bizarre way to handle getting caught, welcome to Elphaba's story. But there's a lot more to the Jack lore than most people realise. Not long after Elphaba began blaming Jack for many of her own controversies, Jack uploaded a video about Elfie, explaining that Elphaba had treated him horribly and that he had finally decided it was time to walk away.
I'm not sure whether I'm going to post this. I probably will. I don't know if it's going to sit in my drafts or what, but this isn't the easiest thing for me to post. I mean, I don't know if it's right, but I think this account is about rights, about living as who you are. It's about my life, it's about my transition, my happiness. And I think it's really important to know what happened today. I struggle to talk about what happened with Elphaba. For a long time now, I've struggled with just what happened. I've had flashbacks, I've had nightmares. There's a lot of stuff I'm not going to go into because I don't want to damage her. But it happened. Now today I saw Luna the Musical, which I really recommend, by the way. It was really good. I was sitting with the director James afterwards. We were talking about the trans role, how characters are written, that sort of thing. And eventually we got onto Elphaba, and we talked about how we both saw warning signs in terms of our, our friendship and the role respectively, and how we were right about those warning signs, and that now that it was all over, we could both move on to, better things. For him, that was getting the musical off the ground and doing a lot more with it. For me, that was like doing what I wanted to do online and just being happy in general. And
on the other hand, Elphaba denied ever bullying Jack. Instead, she claimed that it was actually Jack who had been abusive towards her.
Because he didn't really care, so we used to do that little joke to each other when I was friends with him. So yeah. It's not bullying at all when he's literally showed my actual shit on live stream and showed my room and everything and this and that. And still talks about me and sanctifying gravity at Basketball Pride to get my attention. Girl, that's the least he deserves right now. So, yeah. Because, all I'm saying is, if you think about it, y'all, say it's bullying, right? But none of you spoke out when Jack bullied me. Am I wrong? The haters, or people, who like to question me, and when I do one little tiny thing online wrong, the teeniest little weeny woo woo thing wrong, or just say Alan Carter Jack when he does, to be honest. It's not bullying, because, I haven't misgendered him. I haven't commented on any of his appearances. I'm just saying he looks like Alan Carr.
But this was only the beginning of the lies. Another major controversy involved Elphaba claiming to have Tourette syndrome, with many viewers accusing her of faking tics that they believed looked incredibly unconvincing.
So, yeah. We've collected information since November.
Naturally, a lot of people called her out over it, including Mama Kaz, who became a recurring character throughout Elphaba's story during 2023 and 2024.
24 hours we was with each other, nothing. All of a sudden, she went like this. And I said, what are you doing? She goes, that's my Tourette's. I said,
Tesco. Thank you for shopping at Tesco.
We mean, a lot of her videos were not even just faking tics, it was downright mocking it, which was so infuriating.
Hi!
That's how I clear my throat. Do you know what? I should do that more often. It's kind of a slay.
And she didn't just fake tics, she also faked a whole ass seizure on live.
Elphaba faking a seizure.
At this point, we don't even know if we should laugh or be angry. Now, Elphaba's claims also upset many people within the Tourette's community. One of them was Tourette's advocate Geordie, who has a son diagnosed with Tourette's. During a live stream, she confronted Elphaba about her claims, who appeared to have very little to say in response. And the response she did come up with seemed very much like damage control.
Why are you doing it?
Oh, no, let me say this. So sometimes I have anxiety, right? So I'm diagnosed with anxiety. And basically, I squeak and jitter uncontrollably sometimes. I've done it off live. My mum has seen it herself. And I asked the doctor, is this Tourette's? And they said they're not 100% sure, so they had to put me in, you know, TalkWorks. It's a service. Let me show you.
Before you carry on, can I just say that no GP would have said they weren't sure about Tourette's, because you have to be 12 months having tics to be called Tourette's. So there's no way any GP will have said to you, we're not sure if that's Tourette's. If they thought you had tics, it would be a different story. But there's no way any GP said to you, yeah, we're not sure if that's Tourette's. It's just not, that's bollocks, mate. That's bollocks.
I can show you my referral if you want to see
I don't need to see.
Now, we'd just like to clarify something. Having anxiety-related jitters is not the same thing as having Tourette syndrome. The tics Elphaba was displaying on live streams are a completely different matter. And let's give her the benefit of the doubt for a second. Even if she genuinely was told by a GP that Tourette's was a possibility, we still don't think it's okay to publicly claim you have a medical condition before you've actually been diagnosed, especially when you're broadcasting that claim to hundreds or even thousands of people online and receiving sympathy because of it. The funniest part of her interaction with Geordie, at least in our opinion, was that Elphaba usually had no problem saying whatever she wanted whenever she was live streaming. But the moment she was confronted by someone who actually understood Tourette's and lived with the condition herself, she suddenly had very little to say. In fact, she barely responded during the live stream with Geordie at all. Instead, she went live afterwards to talk about it, which, as you'll see throughout this story, became yet another recurring pattern in Elphaba's online behaviour.
Oh, my apologies, sorry. I would never in my life ever say something so disgusting that people thought I would say that. Like, that's so wrong. I struggle with relationships, and I do tend to struggle with, what's it called, like, understanding people. Sometimes I could say, like, the wrong thing and they'll get offended by it. I may not be autistic, but there's a high chance I am. And for people to say that I'm mocking, I'm not. I really, really am sorry about, you know, things that people have said about me and stuff. I really want you to know, truly, that this is hard, man. You know, to get this, and people are out there to witch hunt me and come at me for things, and that's really wrong. I only apologise for that, and I'm sorry for self-diagnosing, and I never will do that again. I never will. You know, there's things that shouldn't be said on live stream, and I have said them. I really have, and that's not okay for me to do that. So thank you for holding me accountable for that. I really appreciate it. I was never mocking it, though. I would never mock that. I know how hard it is, and I can't imagine people with Tourette's who are going through such a hard time right now. You know, that must, man, you know? And you are so valid and beautiful, and I really genuinely mean that, seriously.
The thing is that she never said she was going to get a diagnosis. She just said she had it. Regardless, eventually, after maintaining these claims for quite some time, Elphaba admitted that she had lied about having Tourette's. She said she hadn't fully understood what Tourette's actually was and claimed she was going to pursue a proper diagnosis. Spoiler alert, that diagnosis never came.
One thing that you regret saying the most online?
The one thing I regret the most is, I think I regret about the Tourette's thing. So I said I had Tourette's uneducatedly, so I remember saying I had Tourette's.
So let's get this straight. She claimed to have autism, claimed to have Tourette's, blamed some of the confusion on what she'd been told by others, and eventually admitted that those claims weren't true because she didn't understand what the condition actually was. Yeah, we're not buying it. Now, while many people think that's where Jack's role in Elphaba's story ends, that's actually not the case. A few years later, Jack shared a story that was genuinely heartbreaking. He wrote, "I recently realised that I was SA'd a while back, and I've been breaking over it. I just wanted to make this to show that it happens to everyone, and if you're in a similar position, then I see you. I can't bring myself to make a proper video about anything, even though it was a while ago that this incident happened. I keep feeling like I'm being dramatic, but I'm not being dramatic because it's a serious issue that's been normalised." Those posts left many people concerned for Jack and wondering what had happened. And of course, while Jack never mentioned any names, many people online assumed he was referring to Elphaba. However, Elphaba strongly rejected that narrative. Rather than addressing the speculation surrounding Jack's posts directly, she went online and instead alleged that Jack had SA her.
Spoke to the police, and they said, "Why haven't you reported it to the police?" You're fucking lying. You're lying. You are so lying about it for clout, Jack. You want a bit of fucking clout. And you were involved in the fucking address with Jenny J. Johnson as well. Oh, yes, you were. I know you're in the group, darling. I've got screenshots. On top of that, I've got screenshots of you, Oh, we'll go in, darling. You want the tea? You want the drama? Let's have the drama then.
Don't shout about it.
Alright, here we go. So, guys. Come on, one of my moderators DM me the link to the server so I can send the evidence to you guys and I can show you. Please, that'd be very great. So, on top of that, so basically when I was flat out drunk, you can actually go Google this yourself. I actually banged my... I'll show you 1 second, I'll actually show you right now. Alright, so Elphaba, Jack drunk. Here we go. So what Jack should have done, right? He should have accepted my mum's phone call when I was flat out drunk and should have spoken to her and said, call an ambulance, because I almost had alcohol poisoning. I had over 25 units of alcohol. Do you know the pink gin you see, right? Thank you, Amber, for supporting me. To anyone that says Team Jack, f*** off, because you know what, I'm saying facts right now. Team Elphaba on this one, because do you know what? I actually think I was assaulted. Yes, I think I was, because do you know what? I was drunk and Jack was sober, and he knew exactly what he was doing.
Now, we're not going to comment on those allegations because we genuinely don't know who's telling the truth. However, we do know that this isn't the only time Elphaba has been accused of sexually inappropriate behaviour. Jack shared his statement in November 2023, but in June 2024, another online creator named Harley publicly announced that he intended to take Elphaba to court, alleging that she had touched him inappropriately and stalked him online.
So Elphaba can play all the cards he wants, all the cards in the books. She can say that she never got the letters. The letter has gotten to Elphaba because something else has happened, which I can't comment on. So the court date is the Thursday, the 21st of November, 2024, at 2:15 p.m. So that's when court will be happening.
According to Harley, the two met at a Nicki Minaj concert where they took a photo together. He claimed that later that night, Elphaba made unwanted advances toward him and touched him inappropriately. Harley also shared screenshots of messages that he alleged Elphaba had sent him.
You can see Instagram link, there's Elphaba, hi, 5th of June at 9:46. There's all the messages. I thought I'll put it on like the big screen so then you can actually see.
One particular message that Harley shared stood out. In it, Elphaba asked, "Who did you enjoy more, Nicki Minaj or me?" She then followed it up by saying that he had 5 minutes to reply, or she would make his life hell. Wow, we mean, if those messages are genuine, that's a pretty threatening thing to say. Harley also shared other screenshots. In one of them, he wrote, "Last night all you did was harass me. I have so much evidence I can put out on you. I have videos, I have witnesses. You thought it would be funny to harass me for nearly 2 hours while I was waiting for Nicki Minaj. At the end of the concert, you tried to hug me, tried to grab my thing, and kept saying so much awkward stuff to me. It's not right that you keep getting away with everything. All you want is attention." According to Harley's screenshot, Elphaba responded with something along the lines of, "Whatever, I have lawyers and I'm famous, so good luck." Now obviously Elphaba rarely stays quiet about anything, so it wasn't long before she posted a response of her own.
Kind of listen to this. If someone was generally essayed at that concert, there would be security looking, there would be people seeing, there would be some sort of action. If I was to do something like that, I probably would get in the by his boyfriend. I actually have witnesses who I was with the entire time who saw nothing. And while I'm tore up, security were everywhere. We're talking barriers on the exits to help people drive out.
So basically, Elphaba's response was that there was security present and that she was with other people that night. Again, we genuinely don't know what happened, so we're not going to pretend we do, but at the same time, we don't think Harley's allegations should simply be dismissed. As we get further into this story, you'll see that Elphaba repeatedly flirted with men online and was frequently rejected.
For example, if I was luscious and gorgeous, would you date me? Hang out with me? Using those mums things. What? So well, Daddy, I'm trying to ask you out. It's not working.
But that's not all. Before transitioning, Elphaba was also reportedly banned from the app Likey after having inappropriate conversations with minors. And as if that wasn't enough, she was also banned from TikTok after displaying someone's pickle during a live stream.
So this was here. Hold on, let me. Oh no! Oh, I'm gonna dig a hole, babe, because it's time to expose your ass. Don't try and threaten a trans person, babe. Oh, it's a joke. I guess that's a joke, isn't it? I'm so sorry. So.
However, for now, we'd like to move away from that and talk about another aspect of Elphaba's online persona that's become just as well known: her hygiene issues. Yes, really. Now, criticising someone's appearance is one thing, and it's not something we generally like doing. People shouldn't be mocked simply because of how they look. However, personal hygiene is a completely different conversation, especially when you're broadcasting your life to hundreds or even thousands of people every single day. And unfortunately for Elphaba, this became one of the biggest topics surrounding her online presence.
So lovely. Then that would happen. I couldn't do it. Sorry.
Over the years, viewers began pointing out that Elphaba often appeared visibly unclean during live streams. Her hair frequently looked greasy. Her makeup seemed like it had been surviving for several days without being washed off, and people repeatedly commented that she looked as though showering wasn't exactly high on her list of priorities. As harsh as that might sound, things only got worse from there. One of the biggest talking points was her hair, which was absolutely covered in lice, dandruff and whatnot. Well, instead of quietly addressing the concern, she decided to tackle it the Elphaba way by pointing the camera directly at the top of her head during a live stream and insisting everyone was wrong. According to her, what people thought were lice were actually just dandruff. Now, whether it was lice or dandruff isn't really the point. The point is that this somehow became an actual live stream discussion. Most influencers spend their time showing off skincare routines. Elphaba was giving viewers a guided tour of her scalp, and somehow it didn't end there. During another live stream, she proudly asked viewers what they thought about her hair, clearly expecting compliments. Instead, the chat responded with, well, brutal honesty. Rather than taking the criticism on the chin, Elphaba became visibly upset that people weren't nearly as impressed with her hair as she was.
Thought I would do this. Did my hair like a nice little kind of crimpy style. Yeah, no one likes it. Alright, that's fine. Love the grease, alright. That's so nice of you. I need that off. I need that off. I'm sorry, I just need that off. I honestly wouldn't wish anyone this kind of hate in their life. I honestly wouldn't. It makes me want to just cut all my hair off and go back to normal. You know what I mean?
Then came the ear mites. Yes, ear mites.
The right ear. What do you mean? Oh, that. That's not, no, that's not. That is, what is that? I don't know what that is. Well, it hasn't got legs, and it's not an ear, mate. It's makeup. Oh my god, it's mascara. How has mascara ended up on my ear?
We mean there is just so much when it comes to her hygiene, or lack thereof. She catches the bugs in her hair and pushes them back in. And oh, she also used eyeliner and some spit to contour her nose. But arguably the biggest criticism wasn't even about her appearance. It was about what Elphaba openly admitted herself. During various live streams, she confessed that she sometimes went days without showering and, even more surprisingly, admitted that she hadn't brushed her teeth in months. Weeks, not days. Months.
A £12 toothpaste. I've had it for like 6 months, but I bought it ages ago and I've refused to use it since, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to start using it now. It's not even open.
And before anyone says, maybe she was exaggerating, even her own mother seemed to disagree with her hygiene habits. In one clip, her mother Maria can literally be heard telling Elphaba to stop straightening her hair and go take a shower instead. When your own parent has to remind you to bathe while you're live in front of thousands of people, it's probably worth taking the hint.
Okay, I'll show you.
Improve it.
Right.
Why didn't you just have a shower?
Well, I had one. Yeah,
I know, I just haven't got shampoo, but we've just got shampoo again.
I had one. That's added on to the jubbling now. Thank you, Mum.
Say, just get over it. It's a phone. Don't be mean to me.
Unfortunately, the oversharing didn't stop there. Elphaba also developed a rather unfortunate reputation for farting during live streams.
I don't know what my neck and my back is. It sounds wrong. I'm going to put it on and I'm going to hear some of it first. No, don't do it. Don't put it on. It's offensive. So it's my farts. Oh, it's offensive. Okay, I'm not putting it on then. Right, you have to choose something else. Aaron, you have to choose a song that isn't offensive. Go for it. It's offensive, apparently. Nah, that's I just looked at the description. It's offensive. No, it's too crude for TikTok. There's kids watching me. I'm not doing that. No, another song.
Now look, everyone farts. It's part of being human. Most people, however, don't do it live in front of an audience and then become known for it. Yet somehow this happened often enough that clips started circulating online, turning something that should have been an embarrassing accident into yet another recurring meme associated with her content.
Just come and say hi, you know. I am going to fart. Pardon me. Let one out, let one rip, whiffy woo.
And trust us on this one. If you're eating anything right now, do yourself a favour and put it down. Because what we're about to talk about is pretty disgusting.
From my 16 bar. Sorry. Flat. See, don't be in the same room as me in the morning, but you can.
And just when we thought we'd officially reached rock bottom, the internet discovered the infamous pee bottle story. According to Elphaba herself, she admitted to urinating in bottles instead of using the bathroom. To this day, people are still trying to figure out why. Was it laziness? Convenience? Some bizarre habit? Honestly, your guess is probably as good as ours. And just when you think the hygiene saga couldn't possibly get any more disgusting, it somehow does, because perhaps the most serious controversy of them all involved scabies. Elphaba openly admitted that she had contracted scabies, a highly contagious skin condition.
It's actually annoying me what this is. It's on my fingers now. What are these things? Look, there's one in my hand, right? I think I'm gonna go to the doctors about this. There's one in my hand, and there's two here. I don't like it, it's freaking me out. Scabies. What the f is that? Can you die from that? I'm actually gonna shit myself. I've got health anxiety now, I'm not even shitting you.
Now, most people in that situation would probably stay home, get treated, and avoid exposing other people until the infection had cleared up. Elphaba apparently had other plans. Instead of isolating herself, she continued going out in public, shopping, trying on clothes in stores, and generally carrying on as if nothing had happened. Unsurprisingly, this caused a huge backlash, with many people pointing out that she was risking spreading the condition to completely innocent strangers.
Hello everyone in the chat, how you doing? How's everyone? So I just went to the pharmacy today. Got my hand sanitizer. Also I got a spray to wipe away everything I sit on. I'm taking extra precautions, don't you worry very much. The doctor said I could do this for like a week and then I'm sorted. Thank you everyone.
Rather than acknowledging those concerns, Elphaba became angry at the criticism. She argued that she was an adult, nobody could tell her to stay in her room, and because scabies isn't fatal, people were overreacting. And trust us when we say that this is the most unhinged reaction ever.
I'm not going anywhere! I will fucking stay on this app. You try me! I'm the fucking queen! You fucking look at me and you fucking admire me. Cause you could never go through what I go through on the day. Never go through any of it. I am the most strongest person I know. The most strongest bad fucking bitch on this app. Dealing with threats, people telling me to kill myself. I am a fucking queen. Yes, I fucking am. I'm the fucking queen. I am the fucking legendary fucking iconic TikTok queen. I don't give a fuck if it makes people's attitude worse towards me, because do you know what? At least I'm standing up for myself. At least I'm being a fucking icon. I am gonna be full of myself, because do you know what? That's all I've got. That's all I've fucking got. Because do you know what? People want me to be sad. People want me to cry. That's what they fucking want. No, you're not gonna fucking get it. I'm gonna be that fucking queen, and you're not gonna fucking tell me to kill myself. You fucking bellends. You fucking cunts. You fucking bitches. Don't fucking tell me to go fucking kill myself. You fucking bitches. I'm a fucking queen. So I can scare you. Try me!
Well, that's pretty much her normal behaviour. Well, that response only made the backlash even worse, with many viewers arguing that the issue was never about whether it was fatal. It was about basic consideration for everyone around her. It's honestly so exhausting. And let's not forget that one time when she literally walked into Chelsea's livestream with poop in her hand. Yes, quite literally.
Charlie, thank you.
I just got overtook by a cat
Josh.
Baked.
Yeah, we got back. Oh, Alpha, sweetheart. I just had to look at that, sweetheart. Affected.
Now, before we move on, there's one thing we need to briefly mention. Chelsea, also known as CLA. If you've spent even 5 minutes looking into Elphaba's lore, you've probably seen Chelsea pop up more than once. Their relationship is honestly one of the most bizarre parts of this entire story. And trust us, we'll dedicate a whole section to unpacking that absolute train wreck later on. For now though, all you need to know is that Chelsea was another controversial creator who, at one point, invited Elphaba to stay at her house so they could live stream and make content together. The two of them created some genuinely chaotic content before the friendship eventually imploded, with Chelsea kicking Elphaba out of her home. But as we said, that's a rabbit hole we'll save for later, because it deserves an entire section of its own. With that out of the way, we need to talk about something that stood out to us while researching this video. By now we've established that Elphaba's hygiene habits are less than ideal, but what's arguably even more disturbing is her attitude toward the controversies she's been involved in. Most people, after getting caught lying about serious medical conditions, would probably disappear from the internet for a while, issue a sincere apology, and hope everyone eventually forgets. Not Elphaba. During one live stream, she almost seemed proud of the fact that she'd lied about having autism and Tourette's.
I'll tell you what I'm known for. So I'm known for lying about autism. And I'm known for singing Defying Gravity. I'm known for having my wig snatched off my head.
I just followed you. Wait, you said you said you've lied about having autism?
Yes, I lied about being diagnosed with autism. But I'm in the current wait for a diagnosis. So yeah.
And what was the reason for that?
Well, I wanted people to understand me. Because no one was understanding me, and I was already in the waiting list, but I was undiagnosed autistic. So I'm still undiagnosed, but I'm in the current wait for a process with it. So it's not like I've just said it for views. I'm actually in the current wait for it. And then when I get the diagnosis, I can show everyone. But the diagnosis is like a 4-year wait, so you've got to wait 4 years, darling.
Yeah, that's a...
I'm told you, I'm just honest.
I feel like...
I wouldn't say that about myself, but I would, because it's true. I did lie about autism, you know. I take accountability for my shit, you know what I mean? Not many people do that. You know what I mean? I do generally take accountability for shit I've done. I did lie about autism, so yeah. And, you know, I'm sorry about that, everyone. But, you know, I'm in a current wait for it. And when I get my diagnosis, you'll see. I think it's quite fucking clear I'm autistic as well, because, when I was in a meeting, well, not a meeting, but like a therapy session, I was told I had traits and they wanted to put me forward because of my special interest to Wicked and my stimming, so they saw a few traits in me. I mean, singing Defying Gravity 20 times a day for the past 12 years is not a normal thing.
And honestly, that's what makes this story so frustrating. It's not just the lies themselves, it's the apparent lack of remorse afterwards. But if you're already feeling frustrated, we suggest you buckle up, because we're barely halfway through this story, and somehow it only gets worse from here. As we continue digging through hours of live streams and old clips, we also found multiple instances where Elphaba used racial slurs, including the N-word during live streams.
Do you know what? You get a wallet for that money. Money.
And when people call her out, this is how she reacts.
I know I'm cancelled now again. I'm sorry, actually. No, I didn't know that. Oh, God!
Honestly, this was already too much for us. And then we discovered the scams. Now, when people call influencers scammers, it's often just an exaggeration because they sold an overpriced hoodie. That isn't what we're talking about here. Over the years, Elphaba has been accused of multiple scams, each somehow stranger than the last. Let's start with probably the most ridiculous one, Roblox. Yes, Roblox. According to numerous people within her community, Elphaba was accused of scamming players out of valuable Roblox gems, with multiple users claiming she took in-game items without delivering what had been promised in return. While these might sound like just virtual items, many players spend real money and countless hours earning those resources, so naturally, people weren't too happy when they believed they'd been ripped off. Now, if that wasn't bizarre enough, Elphaba somehow found another way to monetize her internet fame. She started charging people for photos.
On top of that, part two, 1 second. So yes, and as for the £5 a photo thing, I'm only doing this because I get so many photos, so many people, and
She would also go live and ask people to give her money for singing, full grifter mode.
I'm not singing for free. You pay me. If you want me to sing, you give me money. And it's an installer. Now that's crazy, then I'm not singing. It's not crazy, actually. That's the standard for a singer. If you were to go to a gig, you'd pay them 100 quid. I don't give a shit what you think. Like I say, I've almost got 700,000 followers. I'm not singing for free anymore, my darling.
Most creators are happy to stop for a quick selfie with supporters. Elphaba, on the other hand, decided that meeting her came with a price tag. And there is more. She also started saying that she would now use a card reader to charge people for taking photos with her. Unsurprisingly, this went down about as well as you'd expect.
What if you can't afford it? Then I do apologise. I won't be taking a photo of you. So what I'll do is from now on, I'll hold out a card reader. That's what I'll be doing. And it'll be a £5 a photo. I'll make a fortune, to be honest. It's a clever way of doing it. And if people can't afford that and they're just gonna, laugh, I'm like, bye, see you later. You know what I mean? Remember, they're the ones wanting my attention, not me wanting their attention. So if they want my attention and they want me so bad, they can pay for it. And this is what I do. So if I was so I came up to someone right in real life, right? Hello, yes. So this is a card reader, right?
No way.
I can put in the amount, right? And this is what it does. Watch how cool this is.
Ah.
Wow.
Obviously. Isn't it cool though?
No.
But the controversy didn't end with the paid photos themselves. People quickly began questioning whether she was even authorised to use the card reader she was carrying around. Now, if you guys don't know, a card reader isn't something you can usually just own. As far as we're aware, you generally need to have a registered business in order to get one. However, there honestly seems to be no end to the scams and controversies. One of the biggest examples people still talk about is her GoFundMe campaign. By now we all know Elphaba has a habit of asking viewers for money during her lives, but she also launched a GoFundMe claiming she needed financial support for hormone therapy to complete her transition. Critics have since alleged that instead of using the money for its stated purpose, she spent it on herself, going on expensive shopping sprees, buying makeup, purchasing luxury items such as Louis Vuitton bags, and according to some allegations, even funding alcohol and drugs. One of Elphaba's donors, a disabled woman, tearfully revealed that she had donated £15,000 to Elphaba, claiming that she had been scammed. However, Elphaba lashed out and denied ever taking that kind of money from anyone.
Ran from a disabled person. I have shown you my receipts. I have shown you my TikTok gifting ranks that people have gifted me on. I have shown you everything I possibly can with not my details showing. Because if my details get shown, then of course my bank's going to be hacked. I'm not stupid, audience. I'm not stupid.
But that wasn't the only controversy involving money. She also previously made a GoFundMe to help her move out.
To know that this GoFundMe is 100% going towards that cause of me moving out, putting a deposit on my home, and then I'll vlog it all. We could do like a moving in thing, like I'll make sure of it, I promise. I triple million% promise that, okay?
The fact that she's had to promise people over and over again while trying to convince them to give her money speaks volumes about the kind of reputation she's built for herself online. And it doesn't stop there. Elphaba has also faced accusations involving charity fundraising. She launched a fundraiser claiming the money would be donated to charity, but she pocketed all of that money too, saying that she was putting herself first.
Just the charity thing, obviously you said that at that time,
yeah,
it was just very stressful for you, and that's why you didn't do that.
It really was, because I was going through quite a lot in that time, and mentally wise, like even struggling with my hygiene and this and that. I mean, it's just a lot I was going through. Like even like that was on the last thing on my mind.
People, how it hurt people in a way is that was it Pokemon cards it was spent on, or like other things?
Yeah, it was. I wasn't thinking, to be honest. I
do think from, people on the other side's perspective, I think that's what kind of made it worse, is that not only was it not, because the premise was that the gifts people donated to you would be given to charities. And I think obviously that was an opportunity lost, and I think it hurt more for people because then you spent it on Pokemon cards, and I think that's where...
The thing is though, I mean, it wasn't just Pokemon cards, it was rent, it was saving up for my transition, which is still there and ready. I was putting myself first, and I was sending money to my family and helping them out because they're struggling. So it wasn't just Pokemon cards, because, I was going through quite a lot at the time, and, but, it was, some of it was going towards spending, and some of it was going towards, helping out and real life shit,
She was also accused of misleading her livestream audience through her paid subscriptions. For a long time, her exclusive livestream subscription cost around £5. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, the price reportedly jumped to £50, with many subscribers claiming they weren't informed beforehand and only realised after being charged. As always, Elphaba attempted to do damage control by claiming that she had no control over the subscription price.
It was an accident. I can't change it back either, so I'll probably message TikTok like on the support thing and ask if I can change it back.
This is actually a complete lie. Many people quickly pushed back on that explanation, pointing out that creators hosting these live streams can set or manage their own subscription pricing. So when that explanation failed to convince people, Elphaba began encouraging viewers to subscribe by claiming that anyone who joined her $50 subscription would receive all of her attention.
I'm trying to have tiers, so £50 one, it is literally like full attention of me. Like, you get me. Like, that's all you get. Like, that's all I can offer you.
Oh God, who does she even think she is? We mean, she clearly thinks she's something. Just look at the way she constantly checks herself out whenever she's on camera.
I've done it both ways. I've done it wrong and I've done it right. You know, I say my mind, that's the problem. People don't like me saying my mind. I'm very blunt, so I can't help it. Like, I'm generally just like, oh my God, my hair is stunning. Sorry. But like, you know, oh my God.
Emily, Kayla.
Hell yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take down my friend's number.
No, of course. Oh my God, my hair. My hair's growing, girl. It's just growing. Holy shit. She's growing. Sorry, guys. I'm just very shocked about my hair right now. Not gonna lie to you.
Yo, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Nah, it's chill. Don't worry. Like, I'm just, you know, I'm a chill person when people get to know me.
And if that still isn't enough to show you just how self-obsessed Elphaba can be, here's a clip of her comparing herself to the Kardashians.
I'm famous through drama, but let me just say this one thing, right? You know, celebrities, right? When you talk about Kim Kardashian or anyone, they have gotten really huge from something.
And if that still wasn't enough, Elphaba has also said that women are jealous of her because she's supposedly capable of stealing their men.
I think they see me as competition. They might steal their man.
Now, we honestly don't even know how to respond to that. On one hand, it's incredibly delusional. On the other hand, it's also unintentionally hilarious, because if you've seen some of her interactions with men online, you'll quickly realise reality paints a very different picture. But that brings us to another fascinating chapter of today's story, Elphaba's love life. Now, despite presenting herself as some kind of irresistible heartbreaker, Elphaba's dating history has been, let's just say, less impressive than she'd probably like people to believe. Over the years, she's been linked to only 2 people, with names like Luke occasionally popping up in conversations online. But the first relationship that most people actually remember was with a guy named Wes Bradley. And trust us, this relationship is every bit as bizarre as you'd expect. Back in 2023, Elphaba seemed determined to find herself a boyfriend. If you watched her live streams around that time, you'll probably remember what can only be described as her boyfriend era. She constantly talked about wanting a relationship, flirted with practically anyone who gave her attention, and every few days it felt like viewers were hearing about yet another potential love interest. It honestly became a running joke within the community. Eventually she met Wes, and it honestly looked like a paid partnership. Regardless, Elphaba said the two started dating, and she couldn't stop talking about him. She'd tell viewers how amazing Wes was, how much she liked him, and how happy she finally was to have found someone.
Like, he's chosen me, did you get me? I love people. I'm very grateful for a guy to choose me.
Unfortunately, the honeymoon phase didn't exactly last. In fact, we're pretty sure their entire relationship lasted about as long as a carton of milk left out in the sun. Almost immediately after announcing they were together, Elphaba appeared on a live stream with Wes and another girl. While Elphaba was busy doing her makeup and talking to the camera, viewers couldn't help but notice Wes and the mystery girl sitting extremely close together, laughing, joking around, and looking significantly more interested in each other than they did in Elphaba. The entire live stream was painfully awkward to watch, and the chat immediately began questioning what exactly was going on.
Under it and such. I didn't expect it.
The Russell's just way too friendly.
Jimmy. So hi guys.
You should change your Instagram name to Edna.
Edna's.
Honestly, if secondhand embarrassment were an Olympic sport, this live stream would have won gold. And then came the plot twist. Almost as quickly as the relationship had begun, it was over. Just a day later, Elphaba announced that she and Wes had broken up, explaining that the attention from social media was interfering with his personal life and their relationship.
Serious. I'm going to turn the comments off. We've unfortunately had to not carry on because we've made it public, right, that it's now affecting his personal life. We should have just kept it private. This is why I don't like relationships so much.
So after weeks of searching for the perfect boyfriend, the relationship lasted roughly 24 hours. But if you thought Elphaba's search for a boyfriend ended there, you'd be mistaken. In 2024, she was claiming to have found another boyfriend named Cobain. In fact, during a Valentine's Day livestream, Elphaba proudly told her audience that her boyfriend had given her a keychain as a Valentine's gift.
So I met Cobain because you know Cobain, right? He's actually was gifting me and stuff like that, right? And we're dating now, we're talking. Do you want to see? I'll take the first person out, obviously, but this isn't me and him. Wait. I'll show you, hold on.
However, that relationship quickly became another source of controversy. Cobain later spoke publicly about the situation, disputing Elphaba's version of events and raising questions about whether the relationship was ever what she claimed it was.
Nah, so basically, I was on a live once with Elphaba. She was doing speed dating. So all the chat was saying, get me in, get me in, get me in. She never got me in. She had me on Snapchat. We spoke. I was in Manchester. She come for a drink, met me and my mate. Then some photo thing, yeah. Some woman that walked around the club with a photo. We all grabbed a photo. Then we got the key rings. She took one. Boom. And so cool. Yeah, she put it on the live saying that we was dating when we was never actually officially said that we was dating or whatever. But yeah, go on.
Kobe, and I have to ask you this question. I need to know. Did Elphaba get it up the bunda?
Did what?
Elphaba take it up the bunda.
Nah, you're pushing it, lad.
No, come on. Nah, you have to spell it.
Obviously not.
Okay, right, okay. Well, there you go. That's the question everyone wanted to know, mate.
The only place we was in the club, yeah. Or maybe she did film the show. Who knows? Suppose you'll never find out.
We're not going to dive too deeply into that story just yet. What we will mention is that during a later livestream, Cobain was apparently in Elphaba's chat, and she seemed furious, making it clear she had absolutely no interest in getting back together.
Oh, look who's back. No, I don't want anything to do with you. No. Stop sending me gifts. Cobain, stop sending me gifts. I don't want anything to do with you. You've hurt me. You've really hurt me.
As far as we know, Elphaba is currently single. But before we continue with the rest of her story, we need to rewind the clock to where many of her controversies actually began. As we mentioned earlier before TikTok, Elphaba was active on an app called Likey back in 2019. If you've never heard of it, Likey was a short-form video platform that developed a reputation for weak moderation and poor enforcement of its age restrictions. It was during her time on Likey that some of the first serious antics started, despite it becoming public much later in 2023. According to multiple reports from people in the community, she was communicating with minors through direct messages and group chats. The allegations escalated further when Elphaba was reportedly banned from the platform after touching her crotch during a live stream while interacting with minors.
They were once in a group chat with Elphaba on another platform, not on TikTok, and Elphaba thought it was acceptable and didn't know that it wasn't okay, listen to me very carefully, to touch her crotch, to fiddle with her crotch while talking to kids that are underage, okay? I can't even believe I'm saying this, alright? This is sickening, this is grim. This is everything that is wrong with this app, okay?
And as we continue, we're also going to talk about what happened on her Discord server, because somehow that story manages to get even more disgusting. During our research, we came across a video from someone who claimed to have been in the same group chat as Elphaba. In the video, they show the types of messages that were allegedly being sent in the group chat by Elphaba.
So this was the reason why I was blocked from Elphaba on TikTok. Let's go. So he was trying to join an app called Likey that I was on. I had about 400,000 followers on it. So he reached out to me and tried messaging me, so I replied, and he just wanted to join the agency I was with so he could get paid to post and also to go live and earn more money as you would on TikTok. I don't even remember how, but he ended up joining a group. There was like 4 or 5 of us. There were mainly girls, so they ranged from 13 to 15 at the time. We were all just friends, just hanging out, talking about the app, talking about people on Likey, so, you know, nothing unusual. And then somehow he ended up joining, and listen to what was said.
I genuinely thought you were allowed to do it because I saw other people doing it, and I was like, they weren't banned for it, so I was like, why not try it? And I got banned for just touching my crotch. I didn't actually show it, but okay.
He saw other people doing inappropriate things in front of kids on a live streaming app, yet he thought it was okay because they were getting away with it.
I was just having fun, and it's like, I swear like he's like an interclass thing anyway, so I got banned for a year, by the way. Yeah, lol. I'm gonna probably start another Likey. I'm banned for a year on Likey for that.
I didn't know it wasn't allowed though, that's what I didn't know.
He was trying to say he didn't know he wasn't allowed to touch himself on a live stream in front of kids. Also, you can see what he was saying. He was talking about wanting to speak to Indians because he was the H word. And yeah, it just didn't make sense. This is what I knew of him before he changed into this and blew up on TikTok.
Honestly, watching those messages was genuinely uncomfortable. And before we even had time to process everything, another clip surfaced.
Do you think, if you thought I was a paedophile, do you think I'd be displaying these behaviours on TikTok live as well? Because paedophilia, I've looked this up right, I've done research, paedophilia is a disorder that can't be helped. It is a genuine attraction to children. And it is, yeah.
By this point, it was becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss everything as internet drama. The allegations people were discussing had become significantly more serious than anything we'd covered up to this point. But then we started looking into Elphaba's Discord server. According to Elphaba, the server had an age restriction. Sounds reassuring, until you find out that the age verification reportedly amounted to little more than asking people if they were over 18 and simply taking their word for it. As you can probably imagine, that's not exactly a foolproof system. As more people began speaking out, videos started circulating that allegedly showed the kinds of conversations taking place between Elphaba and minors inside the server.
Hey. You excite me a lot. You know you got a really hot face, hot body.
We're not going to lie, this gave us the creeps. But somehow the Discord story gets even more disturbing. According to multiple videos documenting the server, inappropriate content was allegedly being shared in spaces where minors were present. We can't even show most of what was reportedly posted because there's a good chance it would age restrict us. That's how serious these allegations became. Naturally, people demanded answers. A creator on YouTube named Jake Baz even invaded Elphaba's server, and it was a horrifying sight for everyone to see what's going on in there. However, instead of accepting responsibility, Elphaba pushed back against many of the allegations. At one point, she even claimed that some of the circulating voice notes were created using AI, and she contacted 1010 while on live. For many viewers, that explanation simply wasn't convincing. Then came another statement that only added more fuel to the fire. Elphaba argued that because she herself had been 17 at the time, she couldn't get into trouble for talking to minors, since she was, technically, still under 18 herself.
I don't have any memory of this, but even if this was true, those dates, right, I was 17, so I'll be classed as a minor.
But that's the argument many people took issue with. Even if she was 17, the concern wasn't whether she had legally reached adulthood. The concern was the age of the children she was allegedly communicating with. According to those making the allegations, some of them were around 13 or 14 years old, which many viewers found deeply inappropriate, regardless of whether Elphaba had technically still been a minor herself. As the backlash continued, Elphaba eventually acknowledged that she knew there were minors in the Discord server and that ages of many people on her Discord server were not confirmed.
I understand. These people in this group chat were never confirmed to be these ages, and I hope you understand that.
They were never confirmed. It could have been Jordan for all we know. If there was no ever confirmation of these people. This is what's more, you know what I mean? There was never confirmation.
Rather than putting the controversy to rest, that admission only raised even more questions about how the server was being moderated and why stronger safeguards weren't in place. And not to mention that Elphaba denied having minors in her Discord server for a very long time. And this is what makes researching Elphaba so unbelievably exhausting. Every time you think you've finally reached the full story, another clip appears, another contradiction surfaces, another explanation changes. At this point, it becomes incredibly difficult to take anything she says at face value because so many previous statements have later been contradicted, retracted, or replaced with entirely different explanations. Whether it's faking hundreds of disorders, questionable financial decisions, or the Discord controversy, the pattern always seems to be the same. Something happens, people call it out, an explanation is given, then later, a different explanation appears. Eventually, the sheer number of controversies surrounding Elphaba caught up with her. The mounting backlash from incidents like these ultimately led to her being removed from Brighton Pride 2023, marking one of the most unhinged moments in Elphaba's story.
So don't tell me to try and control my anger, because that makes it worse. Stay away from me. I can't do it.
By this point in the story, Elphaba's reputation was hanging on by a thread. Between the fake autism controversy, the Tourette's claims, the hygiene saga, the scams, the racist language, and the growing concerns surrounding her Discord server, it seemed like there wasn't a single week where she wasn't at the centre of another controversy, and eventually, it all caught up with her. In 2023, Elphaba was scheduled to perform at Brighton Pride, one of the UK's largest LGBTQ+ celebrations. For anyone trying to build a career as an entertainer, this was a huge opportunity. Brighton Pride attracts thousands of attendees every year, and performing there could have been a massive moment for her career. Instead, it became one of her biggest public humiliations.
I have some news for you. I will be performing at Brighton Pride. Yes, at the bar at Broadway. I'm very excited. So, if you want to come, I will probably, I won't be Elphaba. I won't be dressed green. I will be, probably in a gown or something with my longer hair at the time. So, I'm very excited to announce that I will be performing, at Brighton Pride.
As news spread that Elphaba was set to appear at the event, backlash quickly erupted online. People began contacting the organisers, pointing to the long list of controversies surrounding her. Many questioned why someone accused of lying about autism, repeatedly using racial slurs, and facing numerous other allegations should be given a platform at such a major LGBTQ+ event. The criticism snowballed incredibly quickly. Before long, Brighton Pride released a statement confirming that Elphaba would no longer be performing at the event. For many people online, this wasn't viewed as cancel culture, it was viewed as consequences, because unlike many of her previous controversies that mostly played out on TikTok, this one had real-world implications. For the first time, one of the biggest opportunities of her online career had disappeared because of the reputation she'd built for herself. Unsurprisingly, Elphaba didn't take the decision well, and hence the infamous live crash out.
Due to backlash, I will not be performing anymore at Brighton. Thank you so much for f***ing up for me. Thank you so much. Things up. So much! People are gonna laugh at it though. Of course they are, because everyone laughs at me. Everyone laughs at me! So I'm just gonna sit here and obviously be more live because I gotta get money, haven't I? You just want me on live. You don't want me doing anything but on TikTok. Smash everything up. I don't find it funny. I know some of you are laughing right now, but I don't find it funny. Because I generally have mental health problems, and when you take that shit away from me, I can't do it anymore.
While this is laughable for the collective internet, we really don't think this crash out was funny. It was very disturbing. Now, as you've probably noticed throughout this documentary, Elphaba's controversies weren't just becoming more frequent, they were becoming more extreme. With every new scandal, the backlash grew larger, the criticism became harsher, and her desperate attempts to stay relevant only seemed to push her further into increasingly bizarre and concerning behaviour. It almost felt like she was trapped in a cycle. As we move into the final chapter of this story, you'll start to notice a significant shift in Elphaba's behaviour. Her live streams became increasingly erratic, her reactions became more unpredictable, and many viewers who had once watched purely for entertainment began expressing genuine concern for what they were witnessing. But before we dive into those incidents individually, we want to show you a short compilation of Elphaba, but it gets worse.
Elphaba moments that just get more unhinged.
Should I do an OF or something? I don't know why, but like, I just feel like a lot of men will subscribe to that. I wish I was a girl. Get off, Mum. Everything. All of it. Times.
I'll find me and I'll find you!
I support Hamas, darling, yes I do. Arrest me from the police. Get the police on me. Arrest me for terrorism.
Now we're finally at the point where we need to talk about some of the people who have had the biggest impact on Elphaba's internet career, more specifically, her ex-friends. Throughout this video, you've probably noticed a recurring pattern. Whether it was Jack or countless others, almost every friendship Elphaba has ever had seems to end the exact same way. It starts with live streams, collaborations, and public declarations about how amazing the other person is.
You come live with me, Elphaba.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Uh-huh.
I won 4 times. You guys are so good. What the hell?
They love you, see? They want to see you battle. They want to see you live back.
Then a few weeks or months later, they're screaming at each other on TikTok Live in front of thousands of viewers. Unfortunately, we're not exaggerating. And perhaps the best example of this is Chelsea Lee Art, better known online as CLA. Now, if you've never ventured into this particular corner of TikTok, trying to explain the relationship between Elphaba and Chelsea is like trying to explain the plot of a fever dream. It's confusing, chaotic, and by the end of it, you'll probably have more questions than answers. CLA, or Chelsea, was once one of Elphaba's closest friends. The two appeared in countless live streams together, constantly making content, arguing with each other, making up again, and somehow turning every interaction into another piece of internet drama.
In the nicest way to put this, I have way more followers and fame than her. And I'm not trying to be rude about it. That is an honest fact. Because I know how to deal with myself sometimes. I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm not famous for the right reasons, but I'm younger and I'm gonna have a...
In one particularly hilarious moment, Chelsea was stopped by strangers on the street and asked if she was Elphaba's mother, Maria. Without missing a beat, she simply replied, yes.
Elphaba's mum.
Am I what?
Elphaba's mum.
Elphaba's mum, absolutely, darling. All right, darling. Yes, darling. Chelsea Lee Art.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Honestly, that probably tells you everything you need to know about the type of humour surrounding this friendship. But behind all the jokes, things were far from healthy. In fact, toxic would probably be putting it lightly. At one point, Chelsea invited Elphaba to stay with her in London so they could live stream together and create content. For a while, it actually looked like things were going well. They were constantly live, their videos were attracting attention, and viewers couldn't get enough of the absolute chaos the two of them created. They were constantly fighting over everything on live stream.
Mine.
No, that's my mum.
This is mine. This plug, this actual plug is mine from mine.
No, look, I got the sticker.
No.
At one point, people even called a welfare check on CLA's house when Elphaba believed that she was being held hostage.
Wrong, I'm in the comfort of my own home. I've done nothing wrong, and the police have got no right to do this to me. Alpha is having a on the toilet.
Who, sorry?
Alpha, I've got her mum on the live. Look, we're TikTok famous. We're both famous. I'm not having this. I'm putting. It's her mum, Alpha's mum. Alpha's from Devon. She's TikTok famous. She's with...
But, as you've probably guessed by now, it didn't last. According to Chelsea, living with Elphaba quickly became too much. She complained about Elphaba's hygiene, said she desperately needed her own personal space back, and eventually kicked Elphaba out of the house altogether.
No, I'm just getting agitated. I've got police knocking my door. I can't cope. Honestly, I can't cope. Maybe she should come home today. Because I'm not going to be able to cope with no more of this. I need my own space back. I need to bath. I need my own place. Maybe it's right. Maybe she should come back home because it's doing my... I'm stressed out now from the police. And I need my own space.
No,
I
we're doing what you stressed out.
It's getting on top of me. And plus, because we're both doing a leaderboard, we both want to go live. So it's like, it's too much. And it's too much. I can only deal with so much. You know what I mean? I'm not going to put up with this from even my own son. So fuck it, sweetheart. Because, you know,
no, if it's too
even
much,
with my own
then
son,
After Elphaba left, Chelsea milked this whole situation more for content and started decontaminating her house. And she even admitted that she just let Elphaba stay over for the clout.
I'm going to get way more clout if I stay in here, darling. So I'm a clout chaser. We'll have all the clout chasing of Elfie. Absolutely. True caper, darling. Because I was just thinking, if I let her go, because that's what I was thinking, come back. Affected. Well, I can't let her go until the leaderboard's finished, so she's going to have to stay till Sunday. She's going to have to stay till Sunday. She's got no choice.
Now, don't get us wrong, nothing we've covered so far suddenly makes Elphaba a good person. Quite the opposite, actually. After everything we've discussed, it's pretty clear that she's one of the most controversial figures we've covered on this channel. But that's exactly what makes Chelsea's appearance in this story so fascinating. Because for what was probably the first and only time, Elphaba found herself standing next to someone who somehow made her look like the more reasonable person. And that's saying something. Chelsea's behaviour was so chaotic, so unpredictable, and so completely over the top that viewers almost forgot who they were watching. For a brief moment, Elphaba, the person at the centre of all these controversies, actually came across as the quieter, more reserved one of the two. As Chelsea started constantly snapping at Elphaba, she used the excuse that she was bipolar.
Sorry about the shouting, sweetheart.
Don't worry about it. It's good entertainment.
Yeah, I'm TikTok famous. #1 in the UK at the minute. Till the stupid puts their rankings back on. No one cares about the targets. I need to pay.
I'm gonna put your green screen on.
Alpha, please.
Okay.
Now you know what it's like to be with someone bipolar.
Oh, absolutely.
No one's giving you a tip. I've spent enough money in London. Pay that. Can you do it? Because I'm getting out.
Now, if this were any normal friendship, that would have been the end of the story. But this is Elphaba we're talking about. Because after publicly falling out, the two somehow became friends again. Then they started arguing again. Then they were back on live streams together. Then they were insulting each other again. Honestly, trying to keep track of whether Elphaba and Chelsea were friends or enemies on any given day became a full-time job. One live stream they'd be laughing together. The next they'd be accusing each other of everything under the sun. Then somehow they'd be back making content together as if absolutely nothing had happened. Just take a look for yourselves.
And a drink. And a £43 drink as well.
I paid £180. I paid £20 in 2 taxis. I've let you.
Your gifters paid for that.
I've had to tell you to buy me food. I had to tell you. I said, get your money out and buy me food.
Your gifters paid for that.
I don't care. I'm not your mom. I'm ruthless. More ruthless than Maria could even know what time of day it is. Nostrils. Yes, darling. And now you've ordered a pizza all the way in fucking Canary Wharf. And I live in more or less Victoria, Chelsea. Like, does that make any sense? Because you know it all. You're not bothered about
You're making more noise. You're making more noise than me.
Honestly, after researching this video, we've come to one conclusion. Chelsea deserves an entire documentary of her own. We're not even joking. The deeper we looked into her history, the more bizarre it became. But since this video is about Elphaba, we'll spare you that rabbit hole. For now, the only thing you really need to understand is this. Chelsea gave Elphaba a place to stay. They became one of TikTok's strangest duos. They publicly fell out. They made up. They fell out again, and somehow that still wasn't the end of their story. Because as you'll soon see, Chelsea would continue popping back into Elphaba's life during some of her biggest controversies, proving that in the bizarre world of TikTok live streams, no friendship is ever truly over. But while Chelsea was undoubtedly one of the strangest people in Elphaba's orbit, she wasn't the person who challenged Elphaba the most. That title belongs to someone else, Mama Kaz.
So I was on the phone to London TikTok HQ. They're a part of some Chinese agency. So CLA and Elphaba, right? They're linked to this Chinese agency called Galaxy. Okay, I'm gonna expose everything. So there's a Chinese agency called Galaxy UK, right? They contacted me because they wanted to manage me as well. So like I'm now officially working with London UK TikTok HQ. Okay, TikTok cannot.
If Chelsea represented chaos, then Mama Kaz represented confrontation. Now, believe it or not, Mama Kaz wasn't always one of Elphaba's biggest critics. In fact, just like Jack and Chelsea before her, she actually started off as one of Elphaba's friends. Looking at the way these two interact today, you'd never believe they were once on good terms. But that's become a recurring theme throughout Elphaba's story. Someone becomes friends with her, they defend her, they spend time together on live streams, and then sooner or later,
Mama Kaz, so much. I can't fucking take this shit anymore. Why do any of you think it's funny to hate on me and to destroy my life? I am f***ing done.
everything falls apart. Mama Kaz's friendship with Elphaba didn't survive very long before cracks started to appear. What began as small disagreements gradually turned into constant arguments, until eventually the two became full-blown enemies. And unlike some of Elphaba's other feuds, this one wasn't just petty name-calling. Mama Kaz made it her mission to challenge Elphaba whenever she appeared on live streams. If Elphaba claimed she'd changed, Mama Kaz questioned her. If Elphaba denied another controversy, Mama Kaz brought receipts. And if Elphaba tried to dodge difficult questions, Mama Kaz refused to let her. Needless to say, these live streams rarely ended peacefully. Instead, they usually turned into complete shouting matches, with both sides yelling over each other, while viewers desperately tried to figure out what was even happening.
You don't deserve to talk. You don't deserve to talk. You don't deserve to talk. You're a narcissist and you don't deserve to talk. You don't deserve to talk. You've shown your true colour.
And if you're wondering why CLA always seems to appear in the background of these live streams, you're not alone. Half the time, Chelsea would just be standing there watching the chaos unfold, like she'd accidentally wandered onto the set of a reality TV show. Eventually, the arguments became so heated that Elphaba broke down in tears during one of the live streams, with Chelsea stepping in to comfort her.
People don't actually realise what they're doing to others. And true is because they're hurting themselves too, and hurt people will hurt people.
Because she's got a roots with her, darling. So don't ever think you can do this, because you know I'm a G, you know, I'll boss you all up. Don't even try it. Don't let them make you cry. You're beautiful. Look at you.
You are beautiful.
They're jealous
okay?
of you, Alpha, because you're beautiful. They're jealous of you. Jealous. Famous.
To be fair, these live streams are incredibly difficult to follow. Most of them revolve around TikTok live battles, where creators compete to earn gifts and climb the rankings while simultaneously arguing with each other. It's honestly sensory overload. One person's shouting, someone else is reading comments, another person is asking for gifts, and somewhere in the middle of all that, an actual argument is trying to happen. Watching hours of these live streams probably qualifies as psychological warfare, so we've done our best to condense everything into something that actually makes sense. But despite all the noise, one thing became very clear. Mama Kaz consistently called Elphaba out over the same issues we'd already covered throughout this video. She questioned the fake autism and Tourette's claims. She confronted her about the allegations involving minors. She criticised her hygiene. And unlike many others, she wasn't willing to let Elphaba simply change the subject whenever the conversation became uncomfortable.
Alright.
Let me know when you're ready.
Alright guys, I want you all to be watching this, okay? Before I play this, It is sickening. It generally is sickening, and it needs to stop. Remember, this isn't the first time, guys. Please, 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 when you watch this, keep in mind that, you know, I was the one that exposed, and she got caught out for talking to underage people while fondling herself, talking about things with underage kids in group chats. Okay, so that's already come to light. Then we've got her following list full of underage people. Then we've got people that gift her full of underage people. Then she's been caught on other social media sites engaging with underage people. Enough's enough now. In my eyes, you're displaying predatory behaviour, and it has a detriment effect on the community that I support and represent. So yeah, that's it said. I want to Amy, my darling.
It looks like Elphaba didn't stop after she was caught befriending children on Roblox. She's now been caught adding children on Movie Star Planet. Here is proof a 15-year-old boy added her. Now we wait to see if she adds back. What a surprise, she added him back, when his username has 2010 in it and his bio has 14. She keeps standing near the boy and then dances in front of him. She then asks kids for star greets, which you have to pay real money for. This second child says he has school tomorrow, and Elphaba added him as a friend.
Now, whether you agreed with Mama Kaz's approach or not, one thing is undeniable. She was one of the few people who repeatedly confronted Elphaba directly instead of simply making videos after the fact. And then, something happened that genuinely surprised us. In late 2023, Elphaba uploaded a public apology directed at Mama Kaz.
Mama Kaz, well, we were friends, and I was kind of, well, I mean, we were in and out. I mean, I met her first. We were kind of like a team at first, like against Evil Queen. Do you remember that? We were friends, a team, we were vibes. You know, we actually had some good live streams, to be honest. But the problem is, things got a bit like drama-y with other people, and I just kind of like didn't like that necessarily. And I really enjoyed our friendship, but it just wasn't, like, it didn't feel real. It felt very TikTok-y. So that's all I can say, really. And I was just a blunt person on the podcast and said that she gets involved in too much drama, and I was honest that day. I was very honest. And I'm so sorry if that came out like a bad way, but like I just said that about her on the podcast, and that's what caused our friendship to fall apart, unfortunately. And that's a personal apology to Mama Kaz. Like, I am sorry that you took that the wrong way, and still am. But I'm a blunt person, and that's something I can't help.
Now, when we first heard about this, we thought, finally, maybe this was the moment where Elphaba had reflected on everything that had happened. Maybe she was finally ready to take responsibility. Unfortunately, that wasn't really what happened. The apology itself left a lot to be desired. Instead of acknowledging the specific reasons their friendship had fallen apart, Elphaba largely framed it as a situation where the friendship simply hadn't worked out, and apologised because Mama Kaz had been hurt by everything that happened. For many viewers, including Mama Kaz herself, it didn't come across as genuine accountability. It sounded more like, I'm sorry you feel that way, than I'm sorry for what I did. And that's a very important distinction, because throughout this documentary, we've seen the exact same pattern repeat itself again and again. When Jack spoke out, Elphaba portrayed herself as the victim. When the fake autism controversy exploded, someone else was blamed. When other friendships ended, there always seemed to be another explanation. Someone else was responsible. Someone else had misunderstood. Someone else was the real problem. Very rarely did Elphaba simply say, I was wrong. And that's probably why so many of her apologies failed to convince people. By this point, the audience had heard so many different explanations that trust had completely eroded. But here's something we found particularly interesting. This apology to Mama Kaz wasn't the only apology Elphaba posted around this time. In fact, it almost felt like December 2023 had become her official apology tour. On the very same day, she uploaded another video addressing many of the controversies we'd already discussed in this documentary, including the lies about Tourette's, autism, and several other claims.
And I realise my actions have consequences, and I realise that some things I do online isn't good. Like, I can't even begin to even start with and it's just ruining my own life. And I realise that, and I see everything, and I'm an absolute train wreck. I'm a joke. I'm an absolute joke. I am an absolute car crash TV. And I just want to start off by saying I'm really sorry. I really am. To anyone I've ever hurt, to anyone who I've ever caused any hurt to, I'm so sorry.
And I did go out last night, yes I did. I went out for the first time in a week because it, you know what I mean? I wanted just to have a boo.
Unfortunately, even those apologies were met with scepticism, because by now many viewers had reached the same conclusion. It wasn't that Elphaba never apologised, it was that every apology somehow managed to shift at least part of the responsibility onto somebody else. And after hearing that pattern enough times, people simply stopped believing her. Meanwhile, away from all the live stream drama, another problem was beginning to emerge. For the first time since becoming famous, Elphaba's popularity was starting to decline, and she decided to follow back people for just £4.
All the gifts tonight. Girl. I'm gonna sit for corals for now, so if you definitely want to follow from me on TikTok, you want me to follow you? Because everyone comes up to me.
Now, if you've been keeping count, Jack, Chelsea, Mama Kaz, that's already 3 major friendships that ended in complete disaster. At this point, you might think Elphaba would have learned something. Maybe stop live streaming every personal disagreement. Maybe keep some parts of her life private. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be very on-brand, because before long another creator entered the picture. The Evil Queen, and yes, that is genuinely what she goes by. Now, if you're starting to think everyone in this story sounds like they escaped from the set of a Disney movie, you're honestly not alone. Between Elphaba, the Evil Queen, and all the wicked references, researching this video sometimes felt less like investigating TikTok drama and more like trying to understand an alternate version of Oz. Much like every friendship before it, things actually started off well. The two appeared on live streams together, interacted regularly, and seemed to get along without any major issues. But by now you already know how this story ends. Eventually disagreements started creeping in. Small arguments turned into public live streams. Public live streams turned into accusations. And before long the friendship had completely collapsed.
Okay, fine.
She's joking.
Okay.
No, Chelsea, it's £4,000 to get your vocal surgery. She's saying it's more to people when it's £4,000. Thank you.
4.5k.
It's
4.5k. Yeah, I'll try and London Trans Clinic, go look it up. Galatoplasty as well. 4.5k.
It's £4,000 to get it done, love. I know. I've had it done myself. But it's £4,000. £4,000.
4,500.
4,500, are you saying? So why did you say 20 earlier on?
No, 20k for the whole transition.
I hope someone snipes you here, because I've got a good person here. Adam, this bitch is laughing at me, that's what. So we'll have all the Adam's intervention. Oh my God, it's Peter, thank you so much.
Sorry.
Yeah, be quiet in Chelsea's house.
Oh my God, this is crazy. I'm number 15.
Yeah, but I'm number 9.
You're nothing but a toxic individual. And you know that, and I'm not scared of you one bit. You may be the evil queen, but I'm the wicked witch.
However, probably the most explosive livestream came after Chelsea invited Elphaba back to stay at her house once again. As you'd probably expect by now, things spiralled almost immediately. This time, the livestream also featured the Evil Queen, and what followed was genuinely uncomfortable to watch.
Me, right?
Oh, isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, but she's getting a lot of hate now because
We'll have all the hate. Elphaba, tell them what Miss Red said.
Miss Red is actually on my side.
About
Jenny Johnson.
What did she say?
She says that she disagrees with Jenny Johnson's actions.
Yeah, in regards to
me being called a
doxed by Jenny, and she's not associating with Jenny anymore because she's trolled Elphaba and doxed and everything. Thank you, Matthew, and she's seen enough evidence to satisfy loves.
No, respect, Miss Red, I will say that.
Yeah, she said about the whole Jenny situation. So she's not talking to Jenny no more.
Throughout the stream, the evil queen repeatedly shouted at Elphaba, hurled personal insults at her, and made several deeply disturbing comments. At one point, she even said that she hoped Elphaba would be SA by every man she met. She also made repeated comments about Elphaba's body and genitals, with the entire conversation quickly descending into behaviour that was honestly disgusting.
Lied about autism. You lied
Emily.
about having
Oh my
Tourette's.
God, thank you,
You
Misha,
lied
I love
about
you.
being essayed.
Tony,
You lied
thank you, Bree, thank you, I love you.
Whatever your opinion of Elphaba may be after everything we've covered in this documentary, we truly believe that EQ might actually be really evil. The situation became so hostile that, at around 2:30 in the morning, one of Elphaba's friends stepped in and booked her a hotel room so she could leave the house. She called an Uber, gathered her belongings and left in the middle of the night. But unfortunately, the drama didn't end there. After Elphaba had left, the evil queen allegedly revealed the location of the hotel during a live stream and encouraged her supporters to contact the hotel in an attempt to have Elphaba's reservation cancelled. If you've ever looked into this corner of TikTok yourself, you'll know that there are countless clips of this entire saga floating around online. The live streams went on for hours, with arguments, insults and accusations flying in every direction. If you're interested in seeing every minute of the chaos, there are plenty of videos documenting the entire ordeal. But since this documentary is focused on Elphaba, we're not going to spend hours dissecting everyone else's behaviour. That being said, there's one thing we do want to make clear. After researching this story, we genuinely think the evil queen may have behaved even worse than both Elphaba and Chelsea during this particular saga. Now that's not to excuse any of Elphaba's actions, far from it. We've spent this entire documentary discussing her lies, controversies, and the many reasons people have criticised her, but none of that justifies wishing SA upon another person or subjecting them to that level of verbal abuse. To make matters even more bizarre, the evil queen later claimed that everything she had done was supposedly to repair Elphaba's image.
You can see, can't you? Like, I never do nothing for no reason. So the smart people are the ones who say, yeah, you know what I mean, I know exactly what she's doing and all that. I'm repairing Elphaba's image, you know, and like, I'm gonna go and meet her on Friday and we're gonna go on night out. So imagine the transfer of viewerships and stuff. So like, obviously I don't need her for clout or any of those things, but I'm gonna naturally gain from that. And I actually enjoy my friendship with her as well, so it's good for me, my platform too, you know what I mean? So I don't ever think that I'm just like this silly person or that. Of course I know what's going to come with it, with linking up with Elphaba. You know, we'll have all the content, all the views, we'll be all over the FYP. So it's a really big deal for my image and stuff, and if I link back up with CLA, that'll be another big thing. So I'm literally just thinking in the long term. And I want to provide.
We're honestly not sure how wishing something so horrific on another human being is supposed to improve anyone's public image. At this point, you might be wondering, how does someone manage to survive this many controversies? Fake disorders, scams, failed friendships, being removed from Brighton Pride, countless public feuds. Surely after all of that, most people would take a break from social media, maybe disappear for a few months, reflect on everything that's happened, come back with a fresh start. But if you've made it this far into the video, you already know Elphaba doesn't exactly make predictable decisions. Instead of stepping away from the internet, she did the exact opposite. She live streamed constantly, and over time those live streams became increasingly difficult to watch. Now before we continue, we want to be clear about something. Mental health is an incredibly serious topic, and we're not here to make fun of someone who's genuinely struggling. If someone is going through a mental health crisis, they deserve compassion and appropriate support. However, when those struggles are repeatedly broadcast to thousands of viewers, many of whom are children, it inevitably becomes part of the public conversation, and that's exactly what happened. Throughout 2024, Elphaba's live streams became noticeably more erratic. Viewers frequently described them as chaotic, confusing, and at times genuinely worrying to watch. But things escalated further when Elphaba appeared online and claimed that she would be unaliving herself on TikTok Live.
Exactly. You won't. You won't, because you're a coward. You're a f***ing coward. Message me, Emily, nothing's gonna change, babe. Everyone hates me. So what is actually the point? What's actually the point? I am so exhausted from being strong. Everything. I'm just tired. And you know what? I'm getting everyone hating on me. And I'm very triggered right now. And I just want to die. So let's do it. Come on my live and do it. And I'll happily do it to myself. No, I won't stop. Because you know what? I have been through 3
fucking years of people trying to dox me, call me stuff that I'm not, frame me online. I want that to end. I am so done with it all. I'm really done. I don't care if my mum's watching, Mum. I'm done, Mum. I'm really fucking done. Fucking coward. Molly A. No, she fucking didn't, darling, because she said she would show her face and she's got chocolate buttons ready to see it happen. Well then, show your face, say it to my face, say how I'm gonna do it, and I'll do it. But no, I'm not gonna show my face. You're a fucking coward.
Thankfully, no serious injuries were reported, but rather than bringing the controversy to an end, it sparked an entirely new debate online. Some people argued that the live stream demonstrated someone clearly struggling and in need of help. Others believed the situation had been exaggerated for attention. And as with almost every controversy surrounding Elphaba, the internet immediately split into opposing camps. Unfortunately, this wouldn't be the last time Elphaba did something like this. By this point, something had changed. People weren't just tuning in because they expected another argument or another bizarre controversy. Many were watching because they were genuinely worried about what might happen next. But here's the thing, none of these incidents seemed to change anything. After traumatizing hundreds of people, Elphaba was back on the internet, dancing and going out. Honestly, at this point, we don't even know what to say anymore. It almost felt like every controversy simply became another chapter in an endless cycle that never really ended. There was never any real reflection, no meaningful break from social media, and certainly no indication that things were slowing down. If anything, they only got worse. Her online behaviour became increasingly erratic, and many of the habits we'd already talked about throughout this documentary only seemed to intensify. Whether it was making questionable claims, inserting herself into situations she had nothing to do with, or creating yet another controversy, it felt like there was always something new happening every single week. And speaking of questionable claims, let's talk about one of the strangest recurring themes in Elphaba's online career, her apparent habit of inserting herself into major public events. You guys probably remember the Brighton Pride controversy we talked about earlier, where she ultimately lost the opportunity to perform and behave like a normal human being. Well, that wasn't the end of it. In 2024, Elphaba once again found herself at the centre of another Pride-related controversy, this time involving Preston Pride. She went online claiming that she had been booked, invited, and was set to perform at the event, speaking about it as though everything had already been confirmed.
I'm still performing then. Guys, if you want to come, I'm going to be performing at Preston Pride, which is amazing. Very excited. I think I might obviously sing Defying Gravity. Obviously. When? Not fully sure, but all of you need to come and see me. I think it's a must.
But there was just one problem. According to Preston Pride spokesperson, none of that was true. A spokesperson for the event publicly addressed the claims, explaining that Elphaba had never been booked, had never been invited to perform, and had no official involvement with the event whatsoever.
A certain individual, which we'll keep nameless because we don't want to be about that, but the person who is going around saying that they are booked and confirmed by us and have had correspondence with Preston Pride has not. This individual has not been booked by us and is not appearing at Preston Pride whatsoever, so absolute.
Now, you'd think that would be an isolated misunderstanding. Unfortunately, it wasn't. As we continued researching, we found several other instances where Elphaba appeared to insert herself into events she wasn't actually involved in. One example involved a trans rights protest, organised by a creator named Jackson. When the protest began gaining attention online, Elphaba started talking about it on her own platforms, giving many viewers the impression that she had helped organise the event or played a significant role in making it happen.
People, I don't care who you are, if you're trans, you join me. I'm doing it. Because you know what? I'm sick of bullies, okay? And if loads of people in the government see that, and they're like, holy okay, I'd go on my own. I would say, do you know what? I'm going to do this.
However, the person who actually organised the protest later spoke out and clarified that Elphaba had no involvement in planning the event whatsoever. In fact, while the protest was taking place, Elphaba wasn't even there. She was live streaming from somewhere completely different.
In response to the comments that have been made by Rishi Sunak and the Conservative government, I feel and my management feel that something needs to be addressed. I want to put it out that it's me and my management team who are organising, hosting this on Wednesday. Had crazy amount of messages from people worrying about a certain trans influencer named Elphaba. We've been made aware that this person is broadcasting that they have organised the event, and they are very much involved, and they are at the forefront of this day of action on Wednesday, and I want to categorically say that that is absolutely not the case. This person consistently brings the transgender community into disrepute.
And then came the Wicked premiere. Honestly, if there was ever an event that Elphaba desperately wanted to attend, this was it. The release of Wicked in late 2024 was a huge cultural moment, and considering that Elphaba had built much of her online identity around the character from the musical, it's hardly surprising that she wanted to be there. The only problem again, the premiere was invitation only. That didn't stop her from talking about it constantly. For weeks she repeatedly mentioned how badly she wanted to attend, bringing it up during livestream after livestream, and making it clear that getting into the premiere had become one of her biggest goals.
Fortunately, because of my behaviour at Greg's, I will not be attending the premiere of Wicked. Thank you guys. I fucking lied to you about going when in reality I'm not. It's not fucking fair. I wanted to go but now I can't go.
Things escalated to the point where, according to reports, Universal Music removed her cover of Defying Gravity from Spotify, and then she lied about it live.
Really taking it down, and we're going to sort things, so it's all good. So, because haters want to ruin everything for me, they want to try and ruin everything, they want to get me into trouble and things like that. So, the song has been removed temporarily, analysing things legally, and that's how it is.
But even that wasn't enough to convince her to move on. Then for a brief moment, it looked as though she had finally caught a lucky break. Another person named Talia revealed that she had received an invitation to the premiere and offered to bring Elphaba as her +1. For a short while, it genuinely seemed like Elphaba was going, which horrified a lot of people. She even got pretty emotional during her live over the prospect of going.
I didn't think, I never thought in my entire life would I ever get a chance. I never, ever. I've loved Wicked since I was 8 years old. I've loved it since I was a child.
Until the organisers reportedly made it clear that they did not want Elphaba attending the event. As if that wasn't embarrassing enough, an official statement was later released addressing the situation. It read, "Our fans and the community they create and foster are very important to us. Wicked across the globe has no affiliation with this fan, nor do we endorse any of their actions or statements." Now, most people would have probably accepted defeat at that point, not Elphaba. And if all of that wasn't enough, on the night of the Wicked premiere itself, people who were actually attending the event began live streaming parts of the premiere. Elphaba watched those live streams in real time as she sat there watching everyone else experience the event she had spent months desperately trying to attend. She became visibly emotional and upset.
Great. I hope everyone's having an incredible time. I just want to tell everyone out there to be kind to each other and to be nice to each other and to not believe everything you see online about someone. But these are tears of strength. I've been through so much. I've been through so much shit. So much shit. I've been through so much, man. So much.
But even after being banned from the event, she still didn't stop. Instead, she continued trying to interact with members of the Wicked cast whenever she had the opportunity. She attended another event where she was permitted to be present, dressed as Elphaba, and later claimed that Ariana Grande had waved specifically at her and that the director had called out her name, which is admittedly a little confusing, considering she was literally called Elphaba.
I just...
There's a lot of big famous people here who are recognising me. I just got paparazzi looking like this. No! Wow. I'm in shock. The director of Wicked said my name and spoke to me. I'm gonna try and find the footage.
I don't understand why, I just don't. Why am I doing this?
We mean again. What exactly does she think she is? Throughout the entire live stream, Elphaba kept insisting that people were recognising her everywhere she went, staring at her and asking to take photos with her. Now don't get us wrong, it's entirely possible that some people did recognise her, but let's be honest, if you saw someone walking around dressed head to toe in bright green makeup, dressed as Elphaba from Wicked, you'd probably look twice as well. Not necessarily because you know who they are, but because it's not exactly something you see every day. And if the green makeup wasn't enough to turn a few heads, the constant live streaming, talking loudly to a phone, and generally drawing attention to herself probably didn't help either. So yes, people were definitely looking, we're just not entirely convinced they were looking for the reasons she thought they were, but perhaps the most awkward moment came when she finally managed to meet one of the people associated with Wicked Laura. She got a photo with her, which on its own is completely normal. However, things reportedly became much more uncomfortable afterward. According to multiple accounts, Laura had invited some fans to an exclusive after party. Elphaba wasn't believed to have been invited, yet she still turned up anyway, and repeatedly attempted to get Laura to appear on her live stream. Needless to say, that didn't go particularly well. People at the event reportedly recognised who Elphaba was and were already familiar with many of the controversies surrounding her, as well as her repeated attempts to interact with members of the Wicked cast. Eventually, security intervened and Elphaba was asked to leave the event. What followed was yet another emotional live stream, during which she broke down crying and portrayed herself as the victim of the situation.
I'm going.
Thank you so much for me. Thank you. I don't want to be a problem.
I can't have I got starstruck in front of Laura Beck, and I just wanted to come and support, that's all. I know people call me a stalker, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean I just love her singing and I support her role.
Well, honestly, this entire saga perfectly sums up Elphaba's online career. Time and time again, she found herself trying to force her way into situations where she simply wasn't wanted, only for things to end exactly the way you'd expect. By this point, her reputation had become so controversial that organisers, creators, and even public events wanted to distance themselves from her. But rather than recognising why that kept happening, she seemed to convince herself that everyone else was the problem. And that's probably the biggest tragedy of this entire story. Because if there's one thing we've learned while knowing Elphaba, it's that no matter how many controversies she becomes involved in, no matter how many opportunities she loses, and no matter how many people walk away from her, the cycle never seems to stop. Now, with that being said, there's another controversy that we came across while researching this video, one that unexpectedly resurfaced during one of Elphaba's live streams with none other than Jeffree Star. And if you know anything about Jeffree Star, you already know that whenever he's involved, things rarely stay normal for very long. The topic we're talking about is what many people online refer to as Elphaba's slime photos. Now, when we first heard that term, we had absolutely no idea what people were talking about. Slime photos? It honestly sounded completely random, but after digging a little deeper, we discovered that there is actually a niche adult fetish involving slime. The photos in question allegedly showed Elphaba covered in slime in a way that many people online categorised as adult or fetish content. We're obviously not going to show those videos here. According to discussions online, the images were originally shared privately before eventually making their way onto other parts of the internet. Exactly how they spread isn't entirely clear, and there are conflicting accounts about where they first originated. Elphaba later addressed the controversy herself. During a live stream, she stated that the images had been recorded when she was 17 years old and argued that anyone continuing to share them was distributing CP.
Actually, let me tell you one thing, okay? These slime pics that people are sharing on the For You page is child porn. You are sharing that without knowing, okay? So if you're going to share that around online, you are sharing child porn. Delete that. The one I bent down like that, that's when I was 17. And that got leaked from someone I sent to an adult who groomed. I got groomed when I was 17, okay? But I'm not telling you that because, what's the point? You know what I mean? But that's been leaked all over TikTok, my slime kink. So, you know, I just make a joke out of it now.
but what you're sharing is underage. So don't be sharing any slime pics on your accounts, guys.
Now, we're not going to speculate beyond that. If those images were indeed created while she was under 18, then we certainly don't think they should continue circulating online, which is exactly why we've chosen not to display them in this video. However, the controversy resurfaced once again during a live stream featuring Jeffree Star. At one point, Jeffree referenced the infamous slime photos, catching Elphaba completely off guard.
I gotta say on that one, be honest, I'll say how it is, you know.
Love the UK. I sleep with a few soccer players out in Manchester.
Oh, I love that.
After this, I might need some slime, baby. Yeah. I think I'm gonna need some slime.
The exchange was incredibly awkward. Although Elphaba laughed during the live stream, she later admitted that the interaction made her uncomfortable. She explained that she felt pressured to impress Jeffree Star because of his celebrity status, and even claimed that she ended up gifting him around £400.
And I didn't even... Yeah, just a lot of money.
Honestly, sometimes researching this side of the internet feels like stepping into an entirely different reality. Every time we think we've reached the end of the rabbit hole, it somehow manages to get even stranger. And as if everything we've covered so far wasn't enough, Elphaba's live streams have only become more erratic over time. If you compare her recent broadcasts to the ones from a few years ago, the difference is not a lot actually. She's always been like this. More recently, viewers have seen her shouting at the camera, throwing objects during live streams, and completely losing her temper over relatively minor situations.
Do I f***ing scare you? Try me! You try me! I'm not going anywhere! Because I'm fed up to God of the shit! And yes, I'll tell the police I threatened her. Happily, in a manic episode. So do it. Use that for your stuff. Because you know what? I am done with everything. I am done with people trying to find me as a target. I'm done with people calling me a b****. You're not funny. You'll find this hilarious, aren't you? You'll find this hilarious. No one gives a about me. No one gives a about me. Do they?
And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Around the same time, Elphaba also found herself in another very public fallout, this time with a creator named Daryl, someone who had previously been friends with her. Now, by this point, this probably shouldn't surprise anyone. If there's one pattern we've noticed throughout this documentary, it's that Elphaba has an incredibly difficult time maintaining friendships. Whether it was Jack, Chelsea, Mama Kaz, or countless others, almost every friendship seems to end the exact same way. Daryl simply became the latest addition to that list. The drama began when Elphaba uploaded a video accusing Daryl of harassing her and being obsessed with her.
I don't follow him. It says follow back. He's obsessed with me. Okay? That's it. That is it. I cut him off. He still follows me. That's it. Okay? So, it's technically harassment at this point. I've moved on from him.
As you can probably imagine, things escalated almost immediately. Before long, the arguments had become so ridiculous that Elphaba publicly announced she wanted to have a boxing match with Daryl. Yes, an actual boxing match.
Like that in the face. But I'm a sweetheart, so. I mean, and then there's also like self-defense like this. And then, you know, I mean, when it comes to it, my instincts do kick in. Your oyster card mysteriously run low. I will actually do it. I will.
But somehow the situation became even stranger. During one live stream, Elphaba admitted that she was romantically attracted to Daryl, despite openly acknowledging that he is gay. We genuinely don't know what to make of that. At the same time, she repeatedly claimed that Daryl was obsessed with her, even though, from the outside looking in, many viewers felt the fixation appeared to be going in the opposite direction. Things only became more controversial when Elphaba claimed that Daryl had lied about allegations involving abuse from an ex-partner, Charlie. Then, only moments later, she began talking about how strongly she supports survivors of abuse and traumatic experiences.
Daryl's, in the most respectful way, I don't think he went through that. And that's just my opinion, okay? That's my opinion.
I know Charlie. I know him. He can't even harm a fly. Daryl's more likely to be more aggressive towards him because Charlie is tiny. I'm gonna say that right now. Who cares? Move on. We'll go through shit, but who? Come on, just block people, please. Can't be arsed. That's awful. I don't really care. I don't want sympathy or empathy. I don't care. We'll go through shit. Let's not compare traumas. No, don't compare traumas. Don't bring it onto my live stream and then say it out in front of thousands of people to get sympathy. And lie.
Honestly, the contradiction was hard to ignore. On one hand, she was saying survivors deserve to be believed and supported. On the other, she dismissed Daryl's account almost entirely based on what she described as her own intuition.
This is a thing for me personally. My gut instinct and my intuition, and if I know the person and if I know both people at once and this, that, and the other, like, yeah, to be wrongly accused of something like that, like, because Charlie, I know Charlie couldn't even hurt a fly. He couldn't hurt a fly for one.
According to Elphaba, she simply didn't believe him because she had a feeling he wasn't telling the truth. That's an incredibly serious accusation to make based on nothing more than personal instinct. Unfortunately, the questionable claims didn't stop there. At one point, Elphaba posted what appeared to be a photo from a hospital, leading followers to believe she'd been admitted for medical treatment. However, internet users quickly began investigating the image and claimed it was actually a stock photo that could be found online. If that's true, it's yet another example of why so many people struggle to trust anything she posts. More recently, Elphaba also appeared on a reality-style internet show known as the Crazy Cow Competition. We watched it, and honestly there isn't much to say except that she won. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. More chaotic live stream content, more internet drama, and more of the same behaviour we've already spent this entire documentary talking about. So rather than spending too much time on that, we want to talk about yet another bizarre series of incidents involving the police. One of the first started while Elphaba was sitting on a bus. Someone nearby took a photo of her and later uploaded it online. Elphaba became extremely upset about the situation, went live to complain about it for what felt like the better part of an hour, and eventually said she was contacting the police because she believed she was being stalked and harassed.
Bus and someone took a fucking photo of me on the way home. Imagine that's a workspace. And then she
Well, we don't understand. If she thinks of herself as such a big celebrity, she could know that celebrities get their pictures taken in public all the time.
Can you... Okay. Thank you. Right, I'm going to say it again. So today, I was on the bus and I was basically just living my life. Not online, by the way. Not online. So I wasn't even live, I wasn't even doing anything, do you know what I'm saying? But this person had like a weird vibe, and I knew it. And I was sat on the seat and I was just like, because she stood really close to me, and I was like, I don't like that, you know what I mean? Like, it felt a bit weird. Please, in the future, if you do watch me on TikTok and you want a picture, just please ask. You don't have to, but I don't get why you have so much interest in taking a photo of me if you're not going to ask. That's what I kind of don't understand. Because if I was to do the same thing to that person, then I'd get shit. But to take the photo of the bus as well that I'm on, like, she literally went right in front of the bus, but on the sidewalk, and just went photo of the bus straight away. Like the number and everything. And I was like, why do you care where I'm going? That's so weird. So that concerned me a bit. Because I was just living my life peacefully. I was listening to Ariana Grande, I was doing my thing. And then out of the blue, that just happens. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what you do? Like, my genuine answer is, why are people doing that?
Like, why? What's the reason for it? It doesn't benefit you, you know? So, and then I come home and I see over 100 photos spammed in my comment section from one account of me having a photo taken of me on a bus. Like, that's so... Please, in the future, don't do that, because it does look a bit crazy. And if you do want a photo of me, I won't say no most of the time. I am quite a nice person. I'm quite shy in real life, so I tend to be quite shy. I keep myself to myself.
Now, if this had been an isolated incident, that would be one thing, but it wasn't. On another occasion, Elphaba became angry after someone walking past her blew a horn at her. This was it. This was all this person did. We mean, she didn't even flinch, but she later went on to say that she was scared and even allegedly said that this person threw a brick at her. It's so hilarious. Rather than simply ignoring it, she once again announced that she intended to call the police. And yes, she actually did. She also called the police about some other men who horned at outside Tesco. We are not sure if it's the same incident.
I don't know if you can see me now, it's freaking me out. I've got the police on the way now, the police are on the way. I almost got attacked, and they shouted nonsense at me, and they started putting massive things at me, and he was really tall, and there was two men. It was really fucking scary, and now I've had to call the police. And I'm really... I'm literally like shaking. I don't know if they could attack me, and I was literally really scared. The police are on the way, I've got the number plate and everything. I'm literally shaking right now. The police are on the way, so yeah, they're on the way now.
One of the strangest parts came when officers eventually spoke with her. The entire interaction was live streamed. At one point, while talking to the police, Elphaba suddenly paused the conversation to read and respond to comments from her TikTok chat, almost as though she couldn't decide whether the live stream or the police conversation was more important.
Yeah, could have been reform voters, it could have been, I'm not sure.
So it's election day today.
It is.
And as you mentioned just a moment ago, reform are, would you say, quite anti-trans?
Oh my god, yeah, obviously they are. And so is Labour in a way as well, so.
Which one?
Labour as well. Can you see me put yes, Tom? Because I'm not sure.
As well as Labour, you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
Honestly, it was one of the most surreal things we came across while researching this video, but somehow we're still not finished. Another allegation that gained attention online involved a cleaner who reportedly entered one of Elphaba's properties and claimed to have discovered bottles containing a mysterious liquid. Many people immediately linked this back to Elphaba's earlier admission that she had urinated into bottles rather than using a bathroom.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Yeah, bin.
For your juice.
My juice?
Yeah, the one you told me you have to keep it.
I'll throw it away.
I found another one, I cover it, but it doesn't suit.
Oh, thank you though.
That is just disgusting. It's one thing being gross on your own, but subjecting someone else to this, yikes. And as if that wasn't enough, there were also reports that Elphaba had been living in supported accommodation, despite previously claiming online that she earned a substantial income and didn't need that kind of assistance.
And don't mind me asking, what is the most you've earned in a week? You don't have to answer.
Of course, I mean, I'm more than happy to say that. So the most I've earned is $7,000 a week.
Okay.
Really good.
Wow,
that's not bad at all.
That's
okay.
not bad.
Yeah.
Bad week's work,
It's
is it?
$7,000 a week.
And honestly, we've barely scratched the surface. Covering Elphaba feels like trying to drink from a fire hose. Every time you think you've finally covered all the major controversies, another clip appears, another live stream resurfaces, another bizarre incident gets uncovered. There are genuinely dozens of smaller controversies that we simply couldn't fit into this documentary without turning it into a 6-hour series. At some point you have to stop asking, what's the next scandal? And start asking, how has there been this many in the first place? Now, before we wrap things up, there are just a couple more recent developments that we wanted to mention. For starters, Elphaba herself has admitted on livestream that she faked her meltdowns.
Even though I was doing it for attention, it doesn't make it any more or less fake. It doesn't make it any more or less fake.
She has also recently claimed to have received an autism diagnosis. Now, we can't verify whether that diagnosis is genuine or not, so we're not going to make that claim ourselves. However, given Elphaba's long history of making false medical claims, including previously admitting to faking conditions, it's understandable why many people online have approached this latest claim with a healthy dose of skepticism. And honestly, it does look very sus. And unfortunately, the controversies don't stop there. More recently, Elphaba got cat, or should we say a new cat, because she got rid of the last one, and almost immediately, people began raising concerns about its welfare. Some viewers accused her of attempting to hit the cat during a live stream, although Elphaba later denied those allegations. There were also claims that the cat had fleas and wasn't being properly cared for.
True. So stop with that, please. You think I would intentionally poison my cat? You stupid. Are you actually for real? Are you actually so come on. If I didn't like my cat, I would buy her food, would I? Or lots of toys and lots of food and change her water every 3 days and clean her litter? No. I'm a good parent to her. Leave me alone. Litter is clean. Leave me alone.
While she is saying all of this, she treats her cats like this.
Please, out of my kitchen, thank you.
And with that, we finally reached the end of this deep dive into Elphaba. Although, if we're being honest, the end probably isn't the right phrase, because we've barely scratched the surface. There are simply too many controversies, live streams, arguments, and bizarre incidents to fit into a single video. We know there are dozens of smaller stories that we didn't have time to cover, and if you guys would like to see it, we'd genuinely be interested in making a part 2, where we put together a complete timeline of Elphaba's online career and dive into some of the lesser known controversies in much greater detail. But for today, that's where we're going to leave it. This documentary took an incredible amount of time to research. We spent countless hours watching live streams, digging through old clips, piecing together timelines, and trying to make sense of one of the most chaotic internet careers we've ever covered. So if you've made it all the way to the end, we'd really appreciate it if you left a comment below and let us know your thoughts. Do you think Elphaba will ever step away from the internet and break this endless cycle of controversy? Or do you think this story is only going to become even more chaotic from here?